cautionary tale of inevitable defeat. Where the fuck is your agency? Where the fuck is your dignity? Where the fuck is your agency? Remember what it was like to be ashamed before the maggots ate your brains. You surrendered, lost everyone you love the most. No, I can't wait to meet your fucking ghost. Pretender, you think that Christ is on your side, but that's just shit you say to justify your blind faith in the oldest lie. Tell me, are you great again, now that you die alone? I used to think that you were cut from stone, but your paper skin and hollow bones. Yeah, so I'm great again now. Are we great again or what? Are we great again? Are we great again or what?
Forms of inequality. Injustice in health is the most shocking and the most inhuman because it often results in physical death. I see no alternative to direct action and creative nonviolence to raise the conscience of the nation. That was Dr. Martin Luther King in 1966. And at that time in the United States, most insurers like Blue Cross and Blue Shield were nonprofit, and they were struggling due to lack of funding. But instead of building on what was making America great in the 40s and 50s and 60s, funding social services, the ruling classes started privatizing. So insurance companies were now incentivized to issue denials of care. Premiums started skyrocketing, the bureaucracy inflated, and of course, patient outcomes worsened. Hospitals started consolidating into for-profit chains. There were billing fraud scandals, smaller emergency departments, fewer nurses, higher infection rates, and of course, hospital closures. Mental health and addiction treatment became the domain of for-profit chains who were lowering standards, spreading misleading marketing, and high relapse rates. And now there's tens of millions of Americans totally uninsured while paying the highest prices on the planet for worse outcomes. This whole privatization virus is a global issue. Why does it fail? Well, because the incentive is not care, it's extraction. And now before people start screaming about the ills of socialism and state-run megasystems, well, those tend not to work. If the only metric is political control, then you have the same bureaucratic bloat and stolen funds. The systems that are proven to work are locally controlled with tight feedback loops, putting decision-making closest to the people who use the service, with local boards and unions and municipalities, regional co-ops running day-to-day operations. But they have to be connected upward to national funding, national standards, national guarantees, so no community ever gets abandoned. You know, Corbin Trent made a great point in his recent newsletter, said you never hear the Epstein class complain that illegals are taking our water, because the perception is that water is in abundance. So let's just do that with healthcare and make it abundant. Why? Because as James Baldwin said, if I'm hungry, you're in danger. A lack of basic needs like healthcare is a major reason for global instability. And over half of humanity right now lacks access to essential healthcare. Nearly 100 million people are pushed into poverty by medical costs every year. And you know what the most ridiculous thing about all of this is? Universal health care for everybody on planet Earth would cost less than what we're about to spend on weapons in the next 56 days. I put an explainer on the website. You can read it in less than a minute. Link is in the comment.
Trump blew Clinton. Do you think it happened? Because Bill Clinton's like, you know, pretty smooth. And Trump is very easy to trick. You know what I mean? So I bet you can't suck a dick for shit.
I can suck the best dick. I'll suck you off better than Monica.
All right, you assholes.
Man, I keep forgetting I put it on loop. But you know who needs to be on loop? This guy. Hey,
What's up?
what up? Oh, this guy's here too. Cool. What's up?
Hello.
It's always a fucking surprise on the Shillcast, man. But I think we might have a maybe. Well, won't be surprised once I say it, I guess. But I think we're gonna have a pretty special guest today. First time guest. I'm thinking. So
President of the United States of America.
yes, we're gonna have. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have Obama. We're gonna have Trump, and we're gonna have them just hash stuff out. Nice conversation. Really get to the bottom of things. No, I think Audrey Noah is gonna be on with us.
Hope so. If he gets home in time, he said.
I know he indicated he wanted to try. So
Mhm.
Stay
tuned for that, folks.
Yup. If you don't like us, you'll probably like him. He's a lot more personable from what I can tell than me. So he's operating on a level like he's addressing chuds that I didn't realize existed because they're kind of out of our typical wheelhouse. Did you see that video from yesterday?
That was a crazy one.
I had not heard of that guy. That one was like that.
I mean, I'm familiar with.
Huh?
I'm familiar with that sort of style of just making shit up.
Yeah, sure.
Any rumors,
I guess I just didn't know there was anybody that in the movie space that was telling like far more bold-faced lies than like anything even Nerdrotic says. Nerdrotic
just inventing stuff.
Kind of manipulate a factual thing to tell a lie. This guy was just like straight up lying. QAnon type stuff too. But yeah, what's up, guys? How's the week going?
I mean, mine's good. Started out with a bang. Kind of been on a ride ever since then. But yeah, good. Getting better. Yeah, I'm slowly on the mend, but still got. Always love when a channel who changes their entire engagement rules for us decides to react to one of our videos. That's always fun.
Yeah. Well, it's because we're bad.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't read that there must have been like an asterisk in their initial claim that they would talk to anybody that would disagree with them.
Yeah.
An asterisk
the truth is I haven't even watched the whole thing. I think it's like an hour, maybe more of them pausing my video.
Well, I mean, that's what you get for criticizing Critical Drinker. I've been told by the EFAP fans that he is a flawless individual with perfect knowledge of movies.
Yeah, I kind of skipped through it, and I'm like, okay, it's like the first half is almost all Noah, and then the back half is almost all me, and it's like a 4-hour stream, and I'm like, oh, they didn't react to bigger channels; they picked on channels smaller than them.
With them because what I realized with all this is that they are incredibly smart. They're really, really smart. They always know how to do the most cowardly approach to their content that they possibly can. They're very good at that. They know what, what's the angle that keeps me shielded from real criticism, so we do these long ass streams that are kind of impenetrable generally. And most people don't want to fuck with it. Also, by, as you pointed out, avoiding, commenting, criticizing people like Birdman. So yeah, just
what's interesting is they used to go after the bigger channels, but generally speaking, the bigger channels that would never come back at them. So, like when they went after Jenny Nicholson, for example, she was never going to make a video calling them out, but it was good clout chasing for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of another kind of speaks to my point, right? Is they probably recognize that she wasn't the type to, do a clapback kind of or whatever. So they're like, yeah, this will be good.
The point I made in my video, because I am going to do like a longer response probably this weekend, but the point I made in my video about Birdman, which is what he addressed in his video, is I think if they pull up a channel that has over 300,000 subscribers that is saying the same things that like my channel is saying or Noah is saying, it breaks the illusion that people with bigger platforms are calling these guys out. Yep. And so it makes it easier to go, look, here's a guy with like 7K subs who thinks he knows everything. Well, I'm saying the same thing that other people are saying. You're just showing my channel because it's the smallest one, which is funny to me. If my channel is so tiny, why did they feel threatened enough to rebut anything that I said?
Well, and obviously their audience is the type to just think that numbers are some indicative, indicator of like quality ideas or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like they don't understand that that's not reality at all.
I mean, also, I do think it's interesting they chose you and Otterly Noah, because of the two channels in this space, I feel like you two are the ones that are growing the most this year. Like you guys are actually doing like making big moves this year and getting much better views. Yep. I think that's part of what they want to do. They want to make sure it diminish you guys a bit.
I feel like it's very strategic, honestly. Like I don't think there's a coincidence to any of it. I think that they definitely, I mean, look at who they're buddies with. The guys that like the very specifically, as we saw over time, they know exactly who we are. Talking about Nerdrotic and stuff, but they would not acknowledge us except for like I think the only time Gary acknowledged you, Bob, was whenever somebody was mentioned you in a super chat. Or right?
Be like, hey, why don't you talk to me? And it's like,
like whenever he basically had to say your channel name, he was like, he tried to downplay it, but
because it's about money. Right. That's the thing, is I keep saying this. It's about money. It's not about anything else. Like he could easily just ignore the super chat. If it's a $5 super chat, who cares? It's a drop in the bucket.
They also definitely saw what happened with Eric July too. So.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, we saw Nerdrotic was in the audience in Eric's chat.
I also think though the one thing that the Birdman does, which they are weary of, is that he'll bring up how awful Critical Drinker's film was. I'm semi-serious about this, but if he mentions how bad Critical Drinker's film was, then maybe his audience will be like, well, hang on, why haven't they reviewed a film made by one of their friends? Why on earth would they ignore it unless it's absolutely awful and it proves that Critical Drinker doesn't know thing one about movie making?
Yeah, I mean, look at this guy. Hey, yes, me and Eric are both growing a lot. I'd love to see it. Yeah. Okay.
No, it's good you guys are growing. We need more people in this space. It was frustrating when I first started. I felt like I was all by myself. Then I found Dane and Turf. Then I found.
By the way, man, I love your avatar, your otter's costume and everything is just pretty rad. I love that shit.
I mean, that's only when he's on the grid.
True.
But I think it needs to be repeated because we haven't said it in a while. It is very weird how EFAP didn't bother reviewing a film made by a friend of theirs on their channel. A film that the maker of has now got Mauler to write a short film for. Like, isn't it a bit weird? Doesn't anybody else find it odd that they couldn't bring themselves to review that film? Because surely it couldn't have been absolutely awful.
So I think this is one of the big reasons why they probably avoid certain people and try to be real strategic about it, because of this right here. That kind of thing is bound to happen.
I'm seeing a lot of that in my video, the video that they reacted to. There's a lot of people in the, well, there's also trolls there, but then there's a lot of people that are like, I used to watch these guys and then I kind of got out of it and things like that. So I think their strategic swing, they might have thought it was a big W. It really wasn't. I've gained so many subs over the last few days because of them, and Birdman obviously mentioned me in his video. Shout out to Birdman. And I also, the people, I make this very clear because I know they're definitely watching. We got almost 80 viewers right now between all the channels. If you think trying to like tone police me or tell me that I'm that I am an asshole or whatever, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like that's like
that's
I'm gonna treat them the way that they treat everybody else. I don't give a fuck. Like
right. That's one of the differences between their fans and like Gary's and stuff. Is they're, you know, the other chuds, their fans are just kind of, you know, shitheads, and they'll say whatever. These guys will definitely try and tone police you if they don't just find one singular thing that they think is like the silver bullet for everything you've ever said.
Yeah.
And then they will just focus.
What do they come in and say dumb shit like one of them was saying, how do you know they're lying? Because he fucking lies in the video. Like he says it. Like, how do you prove a liar? They say something wrong, you correct them on it, and then you go, that was a lie. That's how you prove a liar.
Because this is the thing that gets me, having not bothered to watch any of their coverage. I don't know how they can defend the fact that the critical drinker lies about the translation of the language. Just flat out lies.
Yeah, there's a couple of like observable lies.
You know,
and the planets, the differences between the planets. Those are the two
that's
things.
wild.
I mean, look, Brian, they did it with fucking Glass Onion. You know what I mean? So like, we know that they will do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
another just obvious lie that Pillar of Garbage laid out. And it's just like, okay, yep, that is a lie. He lied.
If it was just this one video and he somehow missed the planets, now it's his whole mistake. Like, okay, that's really bad paying attention to the movie, but whatever. But he has a history of doing this. Like he got like thunderbolts. He didn't know that wasn't Val that hit the kill switch.
Right. I remember
there's
that.
all types of details
that
he constantly gets wrong. And it's like, are you even engaging with this?
And they're not
material?
small details. They're not small details. These are things that are very obvious in the movie. Sometimes they're big plot points, like the one Bob just mentioned.
Well, they are small when you're watching it on a fucking rip on your fucking
exactly.
Watching a cam version, it's tough to pay attention to
It's not about mind reading. Like I will not make a video calling someone a liar without some sort of proof of them lying. I wouldn't do that. If you go back and you look at my videos, anytime I make that accusation towards somebody, it is based on something they have either done or they did in the video that I was watching. That's how I do that. It's not hypocritical, because when I made my video, and this is another thing, is they're talking about like reviewing and et cetera. My debunk of Critical Drinker's review was not my review of that movie. I have a whole stream, 2 different streams where I review the movie. I was literally debunking his review. It wasn't my review of the movie. That's another thing. Media literacy is another word they seem to hate. I'm telling you guys in the chat, they do not like being called media illiterate. It is one of the things that triggers them.
A lot of times they'll just outright dismiss the concept as being something that exists. And I want to say real quick, Stuart, we recognize, man, not 100% of their fans are going to be like that. I'm just saying that though generally the ones that are vocal and you know give us feedback whenever we talked about them are doing what I've said, but I understand that not 100% of you do this, and we appreciate those of you that just kind of hang out and engage like normal.
To be clear, I've never made a video on EFAP. I've never made one video. The only time I've ever talked about EFAP is either Mahler being on stream with like fucking Critical Drinker or Friday Night Tights, or when we're over here talking about it. I have never made the first video I've ever made about EFAP was in response to them talking about me. So it's not even a personal thing.
Right.
No, Eric, be honest. Every single video you do is on EFAP or Critical Drinker, just like every single video I do is on Eric July or EFAP.
Well, just like how Birdman
forget as well, the Birdman also. Yeah, the Birdman. Every video he makes is about EFAP. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But media
all the time.
What that shows, like what his video I think did a great job of responding to was just, and I was surprised honestly that he only focused on comments. He didn't even focus on what their content said.
Oh, I've got something to say about that too for my video, but go ahead.
But like just it shows how they will often just say whatever they can grab onto or think of to throw at you to shut down, try and deflect criticism of any kind. It's not, they don't engage generally in good faith, and they don't even engage with what you say most of the time. They're just trying to find some way that they invalidates you.
In my video, the very first thing I talk about is this is not me reacting to their video. I said I will do that later in the week. I just wanted to make it clear that I knew they had made the video about me and address some of the comments that were made. That's what I said at the beginning of my video. Several of the fucking comments from the guys over there running defense for these fucks was going, oh, you're such a chicken shit. You didn't even react to their video. Bro, did you watch my video? I literally said, this is not a reaction video. I said it in the first minute.
No, they did not watch your video.
So I'm like, what the fuck?
It literally doesn't matter how you cover them at all. If you're not just 100% on board with them, basically, they're going to find the one thing, even if it's not honest, to come at you about, and yeah, it's fucking pathetic. It's kind of
I don't know who they've been. So this is the thing: the guys in the comments that are over there on that video on my channel and everything. I don't know who the fuck you guys have been messing with like lately, but I'm not the same kind of person. I'm not the same kind of person. Whoever these fucking soft people are that you've been talking to that bend over backwards and let EFAP and all these people talk shit about them, I am not that person. I'm not a tolerant person. I don't tolerate intolerant fucks. So if you're coming to my comment section and that is your angle, shaming me or something, get fucked. It's not going to work. Like, that's not me. I just want you guys to know that right now.
Yeah,
like, that's
if
not
I
the
need
kind of
to, I
person
can
I am.
pull up several clips that show you why I'm not going to hold myself to some standard that Rags or Mahler think is a fucking valid standard.
Yeah, save the virtue signaling for somebody else. It doesn't work on me. Tone policing doesn't work on me.
I don't want to hear.
not a-
I don't want to hear virtue signal how I'm somehow violating some norm from a fan of fucking Rags.
That's what I'm saying.
From a fan.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't try and hold me to a standard that you don't hold for yourself. Get out of here with that shit. Doesn't work on me. If I'm going to hold somebody to a standard, it's going to be a standard that I would hold for myself. And I match fucking energy. I've said this before. If you're going to make a video about me or about a subject and you're a liar, you're a scumbag, you're a piece of shit, then that is how I'm going to approach it, because that's the playing field. You establish that. Don't get mad if you come to a fight with like a fucking magical weapon and I show up with the same magical weapon. That's not fair. That's hypocritical. Fuck you.
And here's what I would say to anyone commenting as well from their fan base. If you watch the Critical Drinkers review, and if you watch their defense of his review, and you haven't watched the movie, then don't comment.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how much he's got wrong until you've seen the film. So watch the film, then watch their coverage of it, and see if you agree with what Critical Drinker says. Like, and going back to the two blatant lies, let's ignore the opinions and the other bullshit that he throws at the wall. Okay, I could believe that maybe he missed the lines of dialogue where she explains how she can speak the language. But describing the two planets as looking the same, when even in the trailers you can see they look different.
No,
you might as well say, oh, Predator 1 and Predator 2 have the same setting.
The other thing I want to point out is that it's not even just about Mahler, because I think there was like 5 other people in the panel in that video. I don't know who else was there. I know for sure that Fringy was there and Rags was there, but I don't know who else.
I know that little platoon guy was there.
I know. I think those are the regulars now. Those 4.
With a negative review of Predator Bad.
Yeah, I mean, like, so my issue isn't specifically with Mahler. To be honest, Mahler, no offense, Mahler's kind of the boring one out of the bunch. He doesn't really say much, and when he does, it's just so, like when he's hanging out with all the other F&T guys, he's very quiet. I can't remember the last video I watched with Mahler and those guys where he took up the bulk of the conversation. That's not usually the case.
Let's be honest. Rags is a regular because he says the shit. Mahler's too chicken shit.
Possibly, you're possibly right. You know, and again, I can't wait to watch the actual video. I mean, I don't know. We probably wouldn't have time to watch all of it today, but it's a lot. I can't wait to watch it. But I don't like reacting to my reactions. It's like reaction inception.
Right.
I don't like.
Yeah, no, it gets a bit too far sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do it because people want me to do it, but I'm not. It's not something that I would typically do.
So I just, I don't want to just like have a conversation with one person, but Stuart's, asking a couple of good, valid questions for, EFAP fan. Right. So no, they're not interesting. His ideas are not interesting. He's, from what I can tell, doesn't actually understand, writing. He only thinks he does. There's a lot of, for instance, this right here. And I don't know if he's one of the ones that comments in this video clip, but it's just one example of many where it's like, let's see.
Underwater just seems to create some problems. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, how does this society? Well, I guess we eventually see like how it operates, but it's just like, how do you build stuff, man? Like in water, like
underwater welding. It's one of the most essential jobs on the planet.
That's going to be really difficult, right?
As well, because it's not like on land where you have seasons or you have like changing weather.
You literally have seasons and changing weather in the sea. So like all of that in a short amount of time is very, very dumb. And with I think Drinker is kind of dumb, honestly, but with Mahler, what it seems like to me, honestly, is that he's got very little life experience, and yet he thinks that he has enough context to just judge everything with the most harshest possible lens.
He also surrounds himself with bad faith, big mouth people. That's kind of the people that are around him. You know what I mean?
That critique always drives me nuts because it's dumb twofold. Number one, we can do underwater building. We have the ability to build stuff underwater. That's how many bridges are made.
The goddamn
also, yeah, when you have a culture that evolved underwater, all they know is underwater. You don't think they can figure out how to build stuff there? You know.
Also, I mean, the Romans invented concrete that sat underwater over 2,000 years ago.
I also want to point out, and this is one of the things that annoys me about what they do, is when you are looking at a fantasy show or a movie or a superhero thing or whatever, and you start debating the most simple, like pedantic shit you can, like how did they build a house underwater?
Yeah,
they're flying around with wings on their feet. There's technology with spaceships and shit like that, but your issue is there was a house underwater. There's some stone structures underwater. Like if you don't, and I know it's probably trying to break through to a group of people that just can't even understand or conceptualize this. If that is your issue with fantasy and fiction, stop engaging in it, because there's no breaking of immersion there. You've already established that you're willing to accept incredible magic and feats of power and superheroes and stuff. You're willing to accept that, but you won't accept that they can build structures underwater.
Right. No, it's not lame, Stuart. Check it out. This will be the last time I'm going to have to be able to talk to you. But like 50% of the people on screen right now are on the spectrum, and it's not a bad thing to want to break things down. It's just what you're choosing to break down when it comes to something like that is just kind of missing the point of enjoying fiction, enjoying a narrative, right? And to focus on that, it's like it seems like Mahler just hates fun. Like he had fun one time and it was like too much for him or something, and he just fucking hates it now. It's kind of what it feels like.
And you absolutely can break down stories like that.
Sure.
But also you have to understand the medium of storytelling. That's not what it is. If you want to break down the realism of storytelling, look to real life, because odd things happen in real life. And we don't ever say, well, that's impossible. How did that coincidence happen? That's far too much of a coincidence. So, I mean, there's all sorts of reasons why writers don't look at scripts like that. And it would be incredibly boring if they did. Because if a writer ever decided to write a story where everything that happened was not just plausible, but had to be believed by every member of the audience, nothing would be interesting. I mean, even soap operas... Sorry, I'll rephrase that because I know your American soap operas is a little wackier than ours. But like, even reality TV shows, dramas, documentaries, things that are just filming real life are sometimes unbelievable. And so, if you come from a point of I don't believe this, therefore it's bad, then fiction isn't the genre for you. And I mean, there are people that break down stuff brilliantly well and explain it. I just don't think Mahler is someone who does that particularly well.
And if it was done all for fun, that's another thing too. Is like we've known people who talk that like they do the similar thing, but it's just they understand it's just kind of in good fun or whatever, like an exercise. That's not what they tend to do. They've created this culture around themselves that their fans generally, from what I understand, Mahler doesn't see things as objective anymore, or he says, but he did for a long time, and that created a culture of that. And when you see art as objective, the end result of that is that you are going to otherize people who do not agree with you about art.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the possible outcome is that, this person thinks that this thing I think is bad is good. I'm going to, go fucking make fun of them. I'm going to make videos where I shit on them on the channel, and Rags is going to call them, all kinds of slurs and stuff like that. That's what it became. And that's the problem that generally we have had with these guys.
I also want to point out that Birdman brought up something that I mentioned a long time ago, but I really haven't talked about it much recently. And that is the idea of reviewing a movie based on things that don't happen, right? That is the wrong way to review a movie. You review what happens on screen. You don't review what doesn't happen, because that's an endless amount of possibilities. Like you could like, that would be like going into a burger restaurant and giving them a negative review because they don't serve pizza. You know what I mean? It's like that. Why are they not serving pizza? Why are they not serving tacos? 1 out of 5 stars. You don't review stuff that way. You review it on what is on screen in front of you, not things that didn't happen or things that you wanted to happen or things that you expected to happen. You review something based on what it is, what it was designed to be. Just like with She-Hulk, it was a sitcom. Wanting it to be an action thriller, Falcon and Winter Soldier type show was not what it was going to be. So you review it based on its quality as a sitcom, because that is what the show is. This is what I mean by media literacy.
I mean,
accuracy and credibility are the two components of media literacy. And when you don't have either one of those things, you are media illiterate, either on purpose or by stupidity.
I mean, you're talking about like something I learned very early in film school when I went to film school. You know, when you're reviewing a movie, because that's a lot of what it was at first, watching movies and breaking them down. When you review it, one of the most important things, don't rewrite it. Right. And it's something that all reviewers occasionally break. But in general, you do not rewrite the movie when you're reviewing it, because you're reviewing the movie that exists, not the movie you want to exist.
And also I want to point out speculatory conversations about what you would like to see or where you would like them to go in the next film or TV show or whatever. All of that is valid. And even if you want to talk about the movie and what you would have liked to see in the movie, that's also valid. But when you're reviewing something and you're scoring it based on the quality, that is not the time for speculation. That is not the time for rewriting the movie. That's not the time for theorizing about it. Like, literally, you should do that separate from what your review is. If you want to do like a stream where you're talking about a movie and a TV show or the future of something, you can absolutely do that. But when you review something, you have to review it on what's presented in front of you. A really good example of this is the Captain America 4, Brave New World. Apparently, the third act was completely changed, and what they were going to have before was something with the Serpent Society and all these other things. I would have loved to have seen that movie, but that's not the movie we got. We got the movie we got. You have to review it based on what's on the screen in front of you. That is how you do like actual reviews. That's how you actually criticize something. So when you do something like that, it's a big issue, a big red flag when you're listening to people that are reviewing movies and everything they're talking about is stuff that they wanted to happen or didn't happen or should have happened or things that never even were advertised to be in the movie or TV show. It's a big red flag.
100% true. Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out though. A couple super chats here. The Koopa Show, great name, there with a $1 super chat supporting the stream. Thank you so much. And someone else got a super chat. I don't know whose channel this is, but we can pop it up on screen. J Kung 56. Mahler makes 5-hour podcast slop. Enough said. I mean, that's the whole long man bad thing. They tried to reclaim the length of their breakdowns of movies and stuff like that. What's the iconic one that everybody talks about that was like 8 hours? I don't remember what that was. It was a really long breakdown.
There was like the long one about Jenny Nicholson or whatever. Then there's Doctor Strange 2.
That's the one. That's the one I remember. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Doctor Strange 2 and Ant-Man 3, he did like the 6-hour breakdowns of those.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, if you want to watch it, that's fine. But oh my god,
yeah, those were his breakdowns rather than his.
It's just like I don't.
Like 12 hours. I don't mind a 6-hour breakdown if you want to put it on the background while you're doing dishes or something like that. I don't really give a fuck. It's the review stuff that I
was looking forward to Ant-Man 3 and I was very disappointed with it. But like, so I can't imagine. But I still can't imagine doing a long ass dissection of why it sucked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, so I don't know. It seems kind of cynical to me. Like that you know what it is. Honestly, is that it's safer to make content that shits on stuff. It's just safer. You don't have to put yourself out there. You don't have to be vulnerable about how you like you connected with something or whatever. Like, it's just all you have to do is just shit on a thing. That's all you got to do. And then you can give arbitrary reasons as to why, that's not how you write. That's not a good writing, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, and you change, before that, Mahler should do a video series or write a book or something that explains how do you make a fantastic, perfect movie, right? Because if he did that, I'm sure he could make a lot of money or whatever, get a lot of fans, but he can't do that because he changes his standards all the time. He just says shit whenever. Sorry, go ahead, Bob.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with making long videos either. Make that clear. There's nothing wrong with making long videos about any subject. I mean, one of my favorites is the Sherlock Holmes the series Sherlock that H. Bomber guy did. He made like a 4 or 5 hour video about the Sherlock series was bad. I mean, it's brilliant, but there's not a minute wasted in that video. Not a minute is wasted.
Plus, that's a series.
Well, yeah, but every line of dialogue or every line of script that he has in there is absolutely necessary in getting across the point he wants to get across. It's not just random repetition for hours. And it's not that Mauler makes long videos. He makes long, repetitive, boring videos.
Mm-hmm.
It's that they're long because of they literally will pause in the middle of a line or in the middle of a moment that's not completed yet, so that they can just like hyper, nitpick shit that isn't, even the full context or whatever. Or in many cases, like somebody mentioned the Terriers thing. From what I remember, there was like the incident of the courtroom scene where the guy makes a joke about like not paying his taxes or something like that, and he's on the stand, I think, and like says that in front of a judge, and the judge kind of laughs about it. Everybody laughs, and I guess Mauler or one of them, I don't know, all of them took offense to that. Like, oh, they wouldn't do that; they would arrest him. You know what I mean? It's like, do you not understand?
They said
like,
they would hold him in contempt, and it's like, okay, right. I've been in trial. I've been under oath before. Did I occasionally tell a joke? Yeah. It's the way I deal with my nerves, because yes, when you're in trial under oath, that's nervous. So occasionally I will crack a joke. Occasionally.
There are some judges that are kind of just chill, or at least if they'll the context of the situation, they're not going to get all uptight about something like that. But
no, if it's when it's clearly a joke, like, yeah, that's it.
Oh, where did Ryan drop
Wait,
out?
what? Who did they $10 super chat here? They critiqued who? For pause, because we got several different channels going right now. 128 people watching, by the way. Please hit like and subscribe on whichever channel you're watching on, and look in the description. You'll see the links to all the other channels and several more. So
they critique y'all for pausing as his video. Oh, it was me. I was watching a short little YouTube.
I was about to say, I don't think I've covered.
They critiqued you for pausing as his video before he got to his point, which is the most pot calling the kettle black thing. I mean, there isn't the title of their podcast every frame a pause.
Yeah.
So why would me pause? Right, but why would me pausing something? What?
Because yours isn't titled that.
I want to reiterate, and Malik, thank you. I think that was on my channel. I make this very clear. I don't give a fuck what standards they have for how I do what I do.
Yep.
I don't care. They don't like that I am correct. Right? They don't like that what I'm saying is true. They don't like that I'm calling out their channel daddy, Critical Drinker. Because let's be clear here. I think Mauler has the biggest channel out of all of them, and it's like 152,000, right? He's on the low end of the whatever the hierarchy is in these channels, right? So they don't like that I'm calling out their channel daddy, and Critical Drinker isn't going to hit back at me because he doesn't have to. He's reached a level of YouTube subscribers where they don't have to engage with everybody. They can just ignore it. People like him, Nerdrotic, even Star Wars Theory, these channels where they're in the millions range, they don't have to engage with people because they don't need that kind of smoke. They don't want to get in all that. People like EFAP and Mauler and anybody within like that 100K to 500K range or whatever, they have to do this. They have to go back and forth with people. So they didn't like me going after their channel daddy. They didn't like me going after the human thumb. They didn't like any of that, right? They didn't like that. The human life-size thumb that goons out over shit, right? They didn't like any of that. So they're going to complain about whatever I do. The point is, it is not the fucking journey that I take throughout the process. It is where I get to in the end. And the issue is, and it makes them very afraid, and I need you guys to understand this. I am a very, very fucking tiny channel in the ecosystem. The fact that they thought my video was important enough to spend 2 hours on tells me everything I need to know. What I'm saying is resonating. What I'm saying is picking up traction. The pipeline is breaking down. I made a video the other day showing the extreme drop-off on subscribers for Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic. If you didn't see the video, we're talking massive drop-offs in subscribers for those guys. Going in 2022 to 2025, going from a 50% subscriber boost from 1 year to the next to 8%. From 2024 to 2025, he saw 8% growth compared to previous years. That's bad. They don't like this. They don't like when this kind of stuff is called out. So I give no fucks about if they care where I pause my fucking video. Eat dick, and not in the good way. Eat it in the worst way possible. You don't deserve good dick. Bad dick. Eat bad dick. There we go.
Hey, what's Mauler doing here?
Here's another one from Zeke. The Freak Mashing Up Geek $2. How do you do a breakdown longer than the movie? I mean, that's pretty much every one of their fucking podcasts is like extremely long breakdown of movies.
And I mean, can you guys hear me? Okay, sorry,
yeah.
For some reason, StreamYard crapped out on me. You can do a breakdown that's longer than a movie. Generally, if you're exploring the themes, or if you're exploring the characters.
He doesn't believe in or doesn't think or matter or something like that.
Yep, doesn't believe in themes. Films don't have themes apparently, which is
they also hate the hero's journey. They complain about the hero's journey, which is a common foundation for almost all movies. Disney loves it. Fucking any sort of fantasy thing is typically the hero's journey. They complain about the hero's journey like it's a bad thing, but only when it applies to women. So if the woman is the hero and she goes on the hero's journey, that's bad. But if it's a guy, white guy, straight guy, typically they don't have a problem with it.
So I know it was a few moments ago where we brought this up, but I finally found the clip. It's 2.5 years old, so it took me a moment, but here's the clip in case anybody's watching is like, I don't believe they actually said that.
Like our private detectives?
Well, on our tax returns, it says we sell seashells by the seashore, but we moonlight a bit.
Mr. Lindis
So he's just admitted under oath that he lies on his tax forms.
Well, no, he says we sell
how much did Mr.
seashells by the seashore. He's joking.
Tape on it?
Well, I mean, all he's saying is, so it says on our taxes that we sell seashells by the seashore.
Yes, it is illegal. It is
That's
illegal
a lie.
to lie on your tax.
And all the people in that room know they're lying.
But that's not what they're actually putting on their tax forms, though.
No. So you lied under oath, then?
Oh my God!
Is that actually going to fall under oath? Is that actually going to fall as a lie under oath, where you just simply make a joke like that?
Remember, even Gustafson was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
God, yeah, no, he obviously doesn't put that on his fucking taxes, for fuck's sake.
Like, I'm autistic, and I'm still like, man, that is fucking autistic as fuck right there.
At the beginning of my video, I said, I'm bored, and apparently EFAP is attacking my channel. Obviously, a joke. Obviously, me being sarcastic. People in the comments from those guys go, they're not attacking your channel, they're just reviewing your content. I'm like, did you not get the fucking, it's a fucking joke. Immediately after that, I say, I don't care if they watch my content. That's what I said. Immediately after that. I don't know if they even can process humor or comedy.
Okay, you don't see a problem with, you mean that scene and like what was wrong with them being that way about it? The problem is that they're not, this is exactly what I was saying, that they're not applying like real world context, like lived experience to a situation. They're looking at it as just like black and white, and then holding it to the harshest standard, and therefore it's not good. And from what I understand, I think they kind of dismissed the show generally because of that and other incidents in the show. But like, that's just the kind of thing that sometimes happens in life. It's idiosyncrasies and absurd moments that sometimes just actually happen, but you have to live life and experience them.
You mean to tell me, and look, Stuart, I'm not going to try and judge your life or whatever, but a lot of people have disclaimer friends, right? You have these friends that say and do dumb shit, and you have to excuse them. You're like, it's okay, he's a little weird, but he's a nice guy or whatever, that say and do dumb stuff. We have to understand that characters in TV shows are sometimes exaggerated versions of real people. And that's how they convey this message, right? If you talk about show, don't tell, you have a character that might say one line that's like, that's a crazy fucking thing to say, because they're trying to pack a lot of information into a very short line or scene in a show or movie. So they do it. That's how they convey that message. So that's what that is. It isn't like this person literally does these things. It's an explanation for the kind of person you're dealing with.
Well, and also just like, even if okay, let's say this was I feel like that's a somewhat realistic scene that could happen, that where the judge being, if the judge is kind of chill or whatever, because there are a few of those, and then the guy says that, a person who's just kind of got a couple of brain cells to rub together would probably think that's so absurd, he's just joking.
Yes, because it's stupid. That's right. Yeah,
and from a legal perspective,
it's then like a stupid thing to do. So clearly the judge on the side of wisdom of like, he's just joking around, whatever.
And from a legal perspective, it doesn't matter unless the prosecution makes it matter. If you say something like that, it's entirely up to the prosecution whether to pursue that further and say.
Or they could say strike it. They could say strike that from the record. Like, you know, like.
But I will tell you right now, if the prosecution pursues it and says, "Hey, this is what he said on the record," that would get laughed out of court. They'd be like, "That was obviously a joke. Why are you making money on this?"
Stuart says it's like a character moment for the show. Yes. Yeah, that's what it is. Like when you have characters saying and doing things like that, it typically that sounded very like I was coming for you, Stuart, and I'm not, right? But like it typically is when a character does something a little wonky, unless it's addressed in the actual follow-up dialogue, it is there for flavor, or it's there for a laugh, or it's there for shock. That's why that exists. And it happens. It's been happening in movies and TV shows for years.
It would have been understandable if one of them, whichever one mentioned it, was like, "Hey, well, you can't. That's a crime. You can't say that." And then what's his name? I guess that was Southpaw would have said, "Well, he's just joking around." And then he's like, "Oh, but that's illegal." And then they but he wasn't even open to hearing that. Neither one, like all or two.
Okay,
that's illegal. You can't.
I want to bring something up, and this probably really it'll sum it up, right? So for years in TV shows and movies, when people get phone calls, this is what happens. Phone rings, right? They pick it up. "Hey, did you hear about so-and-so?" "Yeah, I heard about that person." And then they just hang up. They don't ever say bye. They don't say, "Talk to you later." They have to shave time off so that you don't waste precious screen time on things that people just know. That they're hanging up on the other person. So when somebody makes a joke like that and there's no follow-up, they're probably doing it because they expect the audience to understand this is a joke. We don't have to like explain any of the legal shit to follow that up.
And if you think that that's inauthentic to a courtroom, then I've got news for you. Every single TV show that shows a courtroom has inauthenticity littered throughout it. For one thing, when you are whether you're prosecution or defense, you don't leave the desk. You stay behind your desk to question people. You never approach the jury and speak directly to them. But you watch every single courtroom drama, they will do that. Because having characters stood behind the desk the whole time is boring visually.
Yeah.
Also, if every single drama that had a courtroom scene in it, like look at like Law and Order and stuff like that. If everyone went exactly the way it's supposed to go in a court case, you might as well watch court TV at that point. There's no characterization, there's no storyline, there's nothing. It's just scenes of them talking to judges. Like this is what I'm saying. It's disingenuous. It's either being media illiterate or it's being disingenuous. It's one or the other. It can't be anything else. It doesn't make any other sense.
True.
Let's see. So wait. So Stuart here says, "Okay, I think I get what you guys are saying there." Look, and I I don't want to come across a little aggressive with everybody. It's just been like a wild week for me in my comment section. I've been dealing with a lot of drama.
I think you're probably dealing with what I was dealing with a couple years ago when they covered me, and it was ridiculous. It was.
Yeah. So look, I gave a shout out to Birdman as well. That was really nice of him to do that, to even include me in the video, but also to be very respectful with it. He's like, I don't necessarily agree with all of it, but he's my boy or whatever. So yeah, I appreciate the shout out. What's up, Big Fieldy?
And I think something that Birdman made a point of in his actual video about Critical Drinker, which was essential, is that certain things in films don't matter. Like when Drinker made the point of, isn't it convenient that they happen to meet up? Well, yeah, but that is a plot contrivance there, so you don't spend 3 or 4 hours of the film, or even you can make a whole 3-week film of the Youcher just wandering around until he bumps into her. But who's going to watch that? Yeah. You cut those things for a reason. You don't have them because you don't need them to tell the story you want to tell. Yet it is convenient, but sometimes convenient things happen. You might bump into somebody you've been meaning to call. That's convenient, isn't it? If you bump into a friend, I was going to call you when I got home. Now I don't need to. Would you go, that's a bit too convenient, isn't it? That I just bumped into some. What's going on here? My life is being badly written.
Or like a movie where you're following a character for a day, and then it goes 3 weeks later. You're like, wait, that's not realistic. We just jumped ahead 3 weeks. What happened during that 3-week period? Why is this movie not running in real time? Why are we not watching this whole thing take place over the course of 2 hours. It's unrealistic for all of this stuff to happen in 2 hours. That doesn't make any sense. You see what I'm saying? There's a thread of absurdity to going that far down the rabbit hole. You could even argue, like, how are they able to complete all of this within the time frame of the movie? Like, that's why you don't argue about dumb shit like that. It doesn't make sense.
But the other point you made was, if something is so ridiculous that it breaks the immersion for you, then by all means call it out.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't break that immersion for you, unless you're really looking for it to, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I agree. There's the famous bus jump scene in Speed. That bus couldn't make that jump because physics doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you watch it in slow motion, you can see there were ramps. The one end.
No, that movie is completely realistic. It's based on a true story. It absolutely happened.
But also in Predator Badlands, it's like we're he's arguing about the time frame it takes to get from one point to the other, but none of the stuff dealing with them entering the atmosphere in a small little glass bubble that doesn't bother him at all. But the time frame that you go from one place to the other, that's the thing that bothers him, that breaks it for him. Just crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. We did have another super chat here from I hope I'm getting your name right, Zeke. Once when I was on jury duty, the judge started by saying everything you see in court shows doesn't happen here. Yeah. Yep.
No, when I went to court for my divorce, like, attorneys are asking me questions. They're sitting behind the desk with their notes. There's no like walking in front doing like dramatic show or anything like that, because it's not a TV show.
It's not real life. Surprise. Surprise. Courtroom dramas are not reflective of what actually happens in a courtroom. That's why it's fiction.
And like every single other job that might be portrayed in fiction at some point, it's generally quite boring.
Mm-hmm.
The days-to-days of it is quite boring.
Thank you.
So, yeah, that's why we have TV drama. That's why we have films, because they cut out all the boring bits. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember 24, but I found it completely immersion breaking that we never saw him take a dump.
Listen, Jack Bauer doesn't dump, okay? Yeah. What he has is he has a colostomy bag. That's how come he doesn't have to worry about it. Talk about immersion breaking right there.
I also want to point out a slightly, maybe I'm going down the rabbit hole a little bit, but times must be hard for these guys when I am the channel that you have to make a EFAP on. Like, what? Like, it's not like my channel is doing like gangbuster, like I'm not getting 50, 100,000 views of video. So, matter of fact, the video that they responded to on my channel had less than 5K views. So I'm like, what? Is it hard times? Panhandling not working out for some of these guys? I just don't get it. There's a reason why I typically don't go after channels smaller than me, because it doesn't really help anybody. It does, like, if I'm trying to like dismantle all these things, going after a smaller channel doesn't really do that. You're going to go after the bigger channel, the ones that have the bigger following, the ones that have the bigger reach. Going after a smaller channel doesn't really accomplish that. It comes across like you're just punching down on somebody. Now, I'm not worried. Like, I don't give a fuck about being punched down on. I'm glad they came after my channel, because it lit a fire under my ass. I have to tell you, this EFAP is validation for someone like me who's been working really hard for the last couple of years on my channel.
So, yeah, I think that you hit something there with saying like, is it, hard times or whatever? Yeah, I think it is. Because one of the brilliant things I think Birdman did with his video is that he spent a good chunk of it, like, actually pointing out how he's not or never was as successful as those commenters were claiming that he was, right? So he's like, and I was kind of surprised. He's like, I didn't get that many views. I've only got a few videos. And then, but what he does then at the end of that is it pivots to show how he's still doing, his channel's health is better than fucking EFAPs.
Yeah. Mine is too, and so is Noah's. I looked at it. I was like, Noah's video had 100% view to subscriber rate. Mine is over 100% view to subscriber rate. That's a healthier channel than one that's getting significantly less views and they have subscribers. I know math and percentages make chuds mad and angry or whatever, but in the YouTube world, you don't judge everything as a flat number. Everything is done in percentages. That's how you determine stuff. You wouldn't.
They don't like math. They don't like consent. All that.
Yeah, none of that shit. So it's like looking at it, I'm like, objectively, our channels are performing better on average than theirs is by math, like the numbers, like you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like they're over here projecting shit in our comments, and it's just funny to me.
And the funny thing about Birdman is that he knows what he's doing with his channel, because he knows that if he does a Cinema Sins video, it's going to get a certain amount of views because people go there for that content. That's sort of the hook, what got them in there. But he's doing this fighting the grift videos. It's not necessarily for the views. He's doing it because he's fed up of all these grifters. And the fact is now, I think that his voice acting career is doing pretty well. It's taking off. I've heard his voice out there in the ether, as many of his other commenters have as well, because that's something he pointed out in his video. That's what he does as a job. The YouTubing thing, it's not the be all and end all for him.
And yet still he's one of the most professional YouTubers as far as like how he just handles his channel and shit like that too. So
yeah. Okay, yeah. I just did some quick math. Their video, if we're looking at views versus subscribers, it's been up for a few days now, is sitting around 27% watch time or watch amount on their video versus their subscriber count. That is significantly lower than the two channels they covered. Just putting it out there. That means they have a lot of either dead subs or people that just aren't watching their content anymore.
Well, so I watched that video. I think you mentioned earlier that you talked about a Drinker and Gary's channels not doing well. Do you think that they're the EFAP stuff is kind of along the same trend lines or what?
I mean, maybe. I haven't really. So the thing is, up until the other day, I really hadn't looked into Mueller's channel really very much. I could go back and look at it and see. I mean, I could do the same thing I did with those guys, use the Wayback Machine and just compare year to year, which is what I will probably do for a few more channels before we get to the end of December. But I just, there's an issue with the way YouTube is promoting this content now. I don't know what has happened, but there's definitely a change in the algorithm. Not sure what it is, but something has definitely changed. I think it has to do with AI. And I think it has to do with the way ads are being served now.
I also just think it's post they won the election. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
a lot of people were watching that type of content as like a means of goddamn dogs, as getting getting their feelings out about not being in power, basically, and hoping
What do the soldiers do when the war is over? They go home. Yeah. So all the people fighting for them that put in all this hard work, we had a victory. We're good. We're clocking out. We're going home. We're done. Like that's what happened with a lot of these channels.
This is purely anecdotal, and I know if you choose to, you'll go into the figures. But from memory, I think I sort of poked around like when Ant covered Mauler last and pretty much destroyed him. I think the channel stagnated. I think they've got a healthy number of subscribers and a healthy number of viewers, but I don't think they've grown really at all since probably 3 or 4 years ago. I think the last 3 or 4 years they've stagnated because what they're selling is aimed at a particular audience, because lots of people don't like the way they look at movies, basically. Or most people haven't got the time. I mean, as soon as you have to get a job, it's very hard to watch their content because it goes on for so long.
So I just want to point out, I had a little chart here. What constitutes as a dead YouTube channel? This is put together by a couple. Are you guys familiar with vidIQ and those services like vidIQ and I don't remember what the other one's called. The ones that you can connect to your YouTube channel that tell you like how to optimize your channel, what percentage of views you have. It's a service you can connect to. Anyway, that's where this comes from. So a dead channel has to have at least one of these things happening for it to be constituted as a dead YouTube channel. No longer uploads videos directly or uploads extremely rarely. So that could count for a few of the channels. Massively declining view to subscriber ratio, which is what we're seeing. No audience engagement, meaning that comments and watch time goes down. That's something you would probably know more on your channel than somebody else would be able to look at. Algorithm has stopped surfacing your content or suggesting your content. Content direction changes, and then your old audience abandons it and you are unable to pick up new subscribers. And it says if you're still doing any of these things, but your channel is not growing, you've either stagnated your channel, as you were saying, Ryan. Your channel has plateaued. You are in a dead algorithm. you are nichely locked, meaning YouTube is not going to promote your content. Your content is poorly optimized, or your content is misaligned with the audience demand. Those are the things you need to look out for. I would say covering these channels the way I have and looking back at the way they've grown or whatever, almost all of them has one of those things affecting them. Almost every single one of them. The only reason that like Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic stand out right now is they have not hit the other side of those numbers yet. And that I think they will next year. At least I think Nerdrotic will. He's sitting between 8 and 9% growth from 2024 to 2025. That was a drop from like 30 the previous year and 50 the year before that. So if numbers continue to go the way they're going, by next year, he will be underwater on subscriber growth. He'll actually be below a 0. He will be on the opposite side of that, meaning that he's going to not even gain any subs at a certain point. He's going to stop gaining, or there'll be so little, it'll be like 1% or something. That's where we're heading with him. And Critical Drinker is at 10%. He's not far from Nerdrotic. He hasn't grown that much either in the last year. So that was 2018.
Yep.
This explains everything. I like to point it out because here he is claiming, he had 2,000 subs until he did his last Jedi review. Then he had 100,000, or he hit 100,000, whatever. Like basically the point is that he saw massive success by doing a very specific thing, which was shitting on Star Wars, right? And so, I mean, anybody's going to generally be incentivized to keep doing that kind of thing. It would take someone with like, moral character and backbone in order to resist doing that just like in a cynical way, right? But that's not.
So I remember when Last Jedi came out, I was trying to counteract that by doing positive Last Jedi.
So that means he's only gained 50,000 subscribers in 7 years?
No, his main channel has 400,000.
Oh, you're talking about the main channel. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is with The Last Jedi is they're never going to eat as well as that, because that was a divisive film where I'd say 50-50 split. The people that went to see it, 50% loved it, 50% hated it. There's not many people that were sort of in the middle on it. And so they were able to latch onto that. And for all the people who didn't like it but didn't understand why, those were the ones that were getting reeled in. People who wanted to understand why it didn't connect with them. And whether the reasons they were given were legitimate or not is besides the point.
Then there were the people like me who just recognized it as objectively the best Star Wars movie.
I mean, there's also
one of the better ones.
It's very similar to people who get locked into like church. You know what I mean? Like they want something to be explained. They don't understand, so they go to church and they have a person explain it to them. That's essentially what this is. It's a lot of people who just don't understand, and they are looking for someone to sort of give them the answers.
But the problem they've got now is they've created a climate where they've pre-explained why everything is bad. So people are not even going to films now. The people that were turned onto them are not going to films now to experience them. They're saying, oh, well, everything's bad now. And eventually those people, once they've stopped watching films and they've stopped watching the culture war element of it, they're not interested anymore. So if a film comes out, what film's going to come out next year? Imagine a film could come out that would be so popular as to engage with so many people and yet turn out to be so divisive that half the audience didn't like it. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because those 50% of people that didn't like Last Jedi are not going to the next thing.
Jay Kung here with a $2 super chat. Thank you for supporting our channels. Mauler and racist friends are the worst Cinema Sins. Does Cinema Sins even make videos anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They still churn them out.
That's crazy.
Again, though, that's not in the algorithm like it was back at their peak.
Well, the fact that I had to ask that question means it's not, because I hadn't seen one of their videos in forever. And that's weird because on my Debunks channel, I sub to a lot of the Chud channels so I can keep up with their content. So Cinema Sins will be perfect to pop in there for me, and I haven't seen anything from them.
That's because, Birdman basically took their leg off.
We got to get Birdman in here again, man. Like I said, I talked to him, and he wants to come on, but right now I think he's still on the road. So we'll have to get to him when he gets back. But But somebody else made a comment about Geeks and Gamers. I don't know where it is, but I think Dane, you wanted to talk about Jeremy Griggs today.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Well,
also real quick, this is the objectively correct Star Wars movie ranking. You're welcome to disagree. You're just wrong.
You're wrong. This is objectively. Yeah.
Yes.
What's up? Birdman is in the house.
Yo,
Hey.
he's here.
Yeah.
I refuse to listen to any Star Wars listing that doesn't have Caravan of Courage in there, which is objectively the best Star Wars film.
Yeah. The last time I jumped, last time I jumped in with with Birdman, he was live as well. I can't remember what you were playing at the time when I stopped in, but you said you need to get back on with us. You absolutely do, man. We'd love to have you back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Birdman. I don't know if you saw, but like in the EFAP, I think it was the EFAP or Mahler's.
What happened there?
Subreddit. Whenever you were on our show, they called us the Sinister Six.
It was
Spider-Man or something.
Oh yeah.
It was Dying Light. That's right. I need to play Dispatch. I think I'm going to download that tomorrow and start playing that. I heard that's a pretty good one. It's a point and click.
Can you hear me or what? You hear me now?
You can now. Yeah. You reviewed it there for. Yeah, Dying Light. I never got into Dying Light. Go ahead, Dane. Sorry.
I was trying to tell Birdman that over on I think it was the Mahler subreddit. Whenever he was on our show, somebody posted calling us the Sinister Six.
Yes. It was. I want to say it was Birdman, Pillar of Garbage, Dane, myself, Turf. Maybe I think Eric was probably involved at that point. I think we were the Sinister Six.
I can't remember if it was Eric or if Eric.
We're sinister because we criticize a content creator. Apparently, you know what I mean. And he is Spider-Man, even though what he does is also criticize stuff. I don't get.
Yeah, Dispatch is an awesome game. I'm going to try it out Columbia weekend. Everybody on the channel wanted me to do a stream on it, so we'll probably stream some Dispatch later. But I saw your thumbnail was Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy Griggs, and I was like, what is this about? I'm not too up on that one.
Well, so
I'll be honest, I haven't looked into Geeks and Gamers for a while because
it was kind of a random thing. But on Friday night, you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bob, the old ways, and I were on, and we were talking about this kind of reactions to this Epstein Trump stuff that's going on, the Trumpstein situation.
Now we know what he meant when he said "big beautiful bill."
We do, yeah. Did you see this joke? This guy played a clip of before the stream.
Yeah.
I think Trump blew Clinton. Do you think it happened? Because Bill Clinton's pretty smooth, and Trump is very easy to trick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I bet you can't suck a dick for shit. I can suck the best dick. I'll suck you off better than Monica.
Anyway, there's that. But yeah, so Bob and I were, kind of just talking about the reactions generally. You had we were really talking about Megyn Kelly. I don't know if you saw what she had to say.
Oh God, yeah, I saw that. It's fucking disgusting, bro. So disgusting.
And so we were talking about that, and we just kind of Bob randomly was like, I wonder what somebody like D-Day Cobra is doing about this, because he's pretty much your prototypical cultist, MAGA cultist.
Yeah.
When you really look at how he operates. And we happened to look at his channel, his D-Day Cobra channel, and look at that. He was streaming at that moment. And he was streaming talking about, the situation. And what he was doing was watching a press conference from the Epstein victims from early in September that they did, when they were saying that they're going to make their own list of, since, if they couldn't get the files out, they're going to compile their own list of names that they knew of or whatever. And he just adopted this really fucking shitty, skeptical fucking tone about oh yeah, where's that list? Where's your magical secret list, huh? And it was as he was speaking, it was getting more and more clear that he was basically not because he's defending Epstein, of course, but that's kind of the thing, is he's trying to get ahead of anybody saying anything about Trump, right? So he's trying to get ahead of the victims saying Trump's name is involved with this stuff. Because it clearly probably his name was involved. He was mentioned in these emails more than anybody else, and so but that puts him in the position of essentially kind of defending against the allegations against Epstein. You know what I mean? At what point are you going to decide that these things are just not true or whatever? It's really fucking cringe and gross, and the way that he operates. And it reminded me that I've actually seen. I remember he was defending Andrew Tate after Tate had been accused and arrested for, I think, basically grape. Not to mention all the sex trafficking that he did. And then he also, whenever E. Jean Carroll's case, the civil suit against Trump, the verdict, came out, and he supposed to pay a bunch of money to her. Trump immediately went on TV and was like talking a bunch of shit on her. And I saw a clip, I think I have it somewhere, where Jeremy's just laughing his ass off at everything Trump is saying about her, as if he's like a stand-up comic or something. It's just, it becomes really clear that this guy is I don't think he likes women very much, to be honest. So, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about in general how like these guys are going to wrap themselves up. Well, it's going to be interesting to see who goes how far to deflect and defend this shit, right?
We also seen people jumping off the ship. I mean, Melanie Mack has disappeared. Side Scrollers podcast did a week of IRL streams trying to make 30 grand. I don't know if they made it or not, but it's pretty. It is looking very bleak in the griftosphere.
Devil didn't get his book funded. I think we talked about that a little bit.
That's true. Yep.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, and apparently CG is falling apart. Like Comicsgate is apparently falling apart. I can't even keep up with all of it. It's so much stuff going on. Typically, I'm very in tune with what's going on, but it's so much infighting. I don't even know who's fighting with who anymore.
I don't feel like Comicsgate has been anything that's worth paying attention to since the split with the Rippaverse, basically.
And Rippaverse also
for fun, because it's been funny to see them going at each other. But like other than that, it's not something to like be too concerned about.
Like the fighting between CG and Rippaverse has kind of created its own little drama bubble, like outside of everything else that's going on.
Just remember when you guys didn't like SJWs?
Yeah.
Just to please that one guy that comes in here every week saying we talk about our July all the time. We might as well give him a brief mention. Apparently sales are not going so well over there, which is a surprise to no one who understands the industry.
Yeah.
Right. So that's something. Jeremy has a daughter.
Yep.
And to think that this is the world he's fighting for her to live in it makes me fucking loathe that piece of shit, because I have daughters too. So like, I try to generally think, what kind of world do I want my kid to live in? Right.
Yeah.
Seems like a simple thing that a parent should want. But anyway.
We did get another super chat here, $5 from Columbia Rican. Throatus, LOL.
Throatus,
like
instead of POTUS.
But I'm weary about the repubs jumping on board to release the files, because who knows if Trump had his name put out of the. There's a lot of ifs about what's going on with that.
Yeah,
I will say some crazy shit happened in regards to the votes. Like, we knew the House was going to pass it as it was. They only had one person vote no, which was Clay Higgins, a Republican. I don't even know where he's from, but he was one person. He's like, I just feel like it's too many things in there that could hurt people, even though in the actual bill itself it says that the victims' names will be removed unless they have otherwise stated. But anyway, so that's one of the issues. And then it got to Senate. They thought the Senate was going to amend it and send it back to the House, and they would have time to prepare. Nope. 100% sweep in the Senate, passed the bill, and now it's going to Donald Trump's desk. He is the person that has to sign it off or veto it. So the ball's in his court. So all of this talk, like you have to do not, what is the phrase? Don't write a check that you don't write a check that your ass can't cash or something. Right. That whatever that saying is about asses and checks, whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's going to Trump's desk.
Better check the ass.
He's going to have to either sign it off, which means all of it comes out without any redactions other than the victims' names. All of it comes out, or he looks like a slime ball to everybody, because this is a bad look. Only one person between House and Senate voted against it, which is Clay Higgins. Insignificant, really, but it just shows that almost everybody else is on board for this. If Trump does not sign off on this, that is going to be a major problem for conservatives in MAGA right now. So get ready. Mike Johnson was very nervous about it as he was being asked questions earlier today, because he says there's still some stuff in there where there's still some things we're worried about. The president and I got to work on. There's still something, like, they're worried. They are scrambling right now. So yeah.
Well, here's why, partly why. And just to be clear, anybody watching this like, oh, you guys realize there's going to be Democrats in there too. Yup. Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Let's hear them. Do it. That's
No,
the difference.
look, everyone that's in there, regardless of where they are politically, if you did some illegal shit, you should be held accountable for that illegal shit.
No,
So I'm curious if you guys. Sorry, go ahead, Bob.
I was just gonna say the big thing they like to say is, well, what if Bill Clinton's in there? And I'm like, okay, then why are you defending Bill Clinton?
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I guess Bill Clinton to get arrested.
My Bill Clinton Bible, my Bill Clinton shoes, my Bill Clinton hat.
Bill Clinton flag on my yard.
There is no politician that I would defend if they're in the Epstein files and they did something illegal. There's no politician I would defend.
Absolutely.
None of them.
So I want to watch this clip and see if you guys have any speculation on who we're generally just who they might be, who we might learn about.
People, when the list is released, that people would know. Are they people who are famous in some capacity?
Yes.
And are there names out there that have not been out there yet?
Yes.
That you were trafficked to?
There's names of people that are out there that are not on the list.
It shouldn't fall on the survivor's shoulders. I think there's a lot of people that just want.
So this is Virginia Giuffre's brother, I believe.
Them to release the names. They're like, well, you have the names, just do it. The problem with that is that these rich and powerful men can they can sue you into homelessness, would be a big part of it, but B, it puts serious threat on your life and your family's life. There were times where my sister was sitting across people and they would push a picture of her own children in front of her and essentially say, I know where your kids go to school. I mean, I alone had own threats on me from Jeffrey Epstein, who had a lot of money and a lot of power. And I think her memoir does a very good job of giving information without even having to say the names. If you do just a little bit of digging, you can figure out who these people are. But point being is there were still names up until the very end that she couldn't name because these people could, I mean, they still can come after these survivors, not just with litigation, but the fear of their life for their family and their friends and the people around them.
Until the bill gets signed into law. When that transparency bill gets signed in, they cannot come after them because then it becomes public record.
And that's the point I was going to say. The reason that the people who've been trafficked have not named names is because as soon as they name anyone, and these are some of the richest and most powerful people in the world, they're going to get sent straight to court for defamation.
Yep.
And they can't prove anything. These victims, they don't have any other proof. What proof would they have all these years later that anything happened to them? All they have is their story, and it would be up to a court to decide who's telling the truth.
I mean, they don't even have to have a solid case against them. They could just keep on dragging their ass to court infinitely because they have infinite funds to do that. And the other person will just run out of money and just die poor and destitute.
Tony says, wait, hold on right here. If your favorite celebs are on that list, will you? Yes. If there's a celebrity that I like that was involved with trafficking children, 100%, I will never ever support that celebrity again. Like, I want to make this very clear, and I think this is something that most people would say, regardless of where. Well, I would hope they would say politically and socially. If someone is involved with taking teenage girls to an island to get abused by adults, like there's no coming back from that. That is like, that's it.
I want that person prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Just no question.
Well, Birdman had a comment here. I want to highlight this. I know you did, Dane, a minute ago or whatever. But Birdman says Republicans build parasocial relationships with politicians, so they think those that aren't Repubs do too. That's why they think we would care if demos are in the file. Yeah, like I don't care. Like all of them come after every fucking one of the independent, Democratic, Green Party, Libertarian. I don't give a fuck. Whoever you are, if you're in those files, you should be held accountable for all of that. Secondly, what you're saying here resonates so much because it's the anecdotal stuff that Republicans do, like all these stories where I knew someone in the bathroom that was taken advantage of or whatever. They build these stories up that are anecdotal, and so their followers connect with them on a deeper level because of that, and then you end up with these parasocial relationships. It's all like a big pyramid of bullshit. So I agree with that 100%.
The other side of the coin of what you're saying there, Eric, is that they use anecdotes constantly, and at the same, what that does is they're avoiding data in many cases, unless it's data they can manipulate to their advantage, right? So like data, stats, basically they don't understand it, or they don't use it to convey information to their constituents. So yeah, you don't have people that don't understand how things actually happen on a broad societal scale, and they just zero in on these fucking anecdotes of like something they heard happened or something happened to them.
Yeah. So I was laughing at Nate's comment. No, not the libertarians. Yeah, yes, libertarians too. Columbia Rican here with the $5 super chat. I don't know if you all got to see Asman trying to hit Kyle Kalinske back, but he failed on so hard doing it. Basically, he didn't like Kyle calling him out. Well, I mean, Asmongold has come after me before, twice actually. So like, I know how it feels to be targeted by Asmongold, because his little minions will come over and like leave all kinds of awful, like, to be honest, let me tell an anecdotal story here. To be honest, his followers are probably some of the worst ones that I've had to deal with in terms of my comments. Like, Asmongold supporters they use slurs. It's awful. They're one of the worst groups. Like,
they're probably a lot about followers.
I was about to say, I haven't dealt with Asmongold, but like Ryan Cannell and Quartering's followers, oh my god, they're some of the stupidest bigots you've ever encountered. Oh my.
Yeah.
Enjoy the negative grift, guys. I'm out.
You see Bob of the Old Ways here goes, members of Congress can read the names in a congressional record without legal repercussions. That threat is being held over these jails. Well, apparently, according to I think it was Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ro Khanna, and Massey, the three of them have been meeting with the victims, and they've said they're going to do it. They said that once this is made public, they're going to read all of this.
What's notable, honestly, is, and I'm not saying we should trust Marjorie Taylor Greene or anything like that, but what I'm saying is her demeanor, the way she's operating with this, is very different from anything she's done prior to this. She seems to be taking it very seriously, as does Massey. I saw a clip of him talking about it on the news, talking about Trump, and it's like, man, it's kind of crazy to actually see Republicans going against Trump right now.
Yeah. I don't trust Marjorie Taylor Greene, but there is a strategical advantage in policy if you have Republicans that are not seeing eye to eye, because the power they have is very similar. Look, I always go back to the Chuds. The power they have is very similar to the Chuds and the grifters here on YouTube. When everybody falls in line, it becomes a very clear message, and you can grift off of that for ages because everyone's saying the same thing. They're doing the same thing. It's a very solid message. When you have people that are dissenting within those ranks, it creates a crack, and that crack can become a wedge, and it can be bigger than that. You just have to learn how to take advantage of that. And I think if Democrats really want to lock in these midterms, they need to start taking advantage of these cracks. People like Massey, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who are not aligned with the party, if they want to get any sort of like traction. I already think the midterms are going to be a bloodbath, essentially, legally in Minecraft. It's going to be a bloodbath or whatever.
The only thing is that how much is that actually going to be registered in the official record, because they've been doing a lot of shit to
Did you hear about Texas, Dane? Did you hear about Texas?
What about it?
A Trump-appointed judge in Texas just struck down the redistricting maps. They cannot redistrict in Texas.
Meanwhile, didn't California approve theirs?
California did it legally through a vote. They said Texas was doing it illegally and California did not, because it was done through a vote.
Not only that, but there's a chance that because they overestimated the amount of support in Texas based on the last election results, even if they do redistrict, it might actually make them weaker.
Yep. Because they did not account for some of the people they're going to be flipping because of all this Epstein stuff.
So we've got a couple of guests joining us.
I see.
Yeah.
And then Otterly Noah. Hey.
Hello. How you guys doing?
Noah's in the house. And what's up, Cherry? Good to see you. It's a great lineup today. Yeah, there we go.
How are you? Very good lineup. How you guys doing?
Pretty good,
Yeah.
Awesome. Glad to hear.
We see both you and Eric have been through a mini war this week.
Yeah, verily, I guess. No, not really, honestly, I'd say, given knowing EFAP, but yeah, I guess something like that anyway.
And I know you've had your toes dipped into the grifter space enough to know the sorts of pushback you'll get from fans of the people you cover. So I'm sure this is nothing new for you.
No, it's not.
I love that you put out a video completely unrelated. Like the next video you put out was completely unrelated. And I was like, this is so great. Like you just completely ignored it, just moved on. It was so funny to me.
That's really the best.
Yeah, because I don't really, I giving EFAP attention, I think is just what they wanted. So I just personally didn't feel like even covering them. It was just, they kind of made a fool of themselves on that stream, in my opinion.
Have you ever? So I was curious about this because we've never actually talked. But I followed your channel for a while, and we get covered on Reddit quite often. They kind of like there's a bubble of names that I always see together. It's like Otterly Noah, Eric D. Bunks, the Birdman, the Fandom Initiative, all this. Like they always kind of bubble us all together. And so, have you ever been targeted by EFAP before? Or was this the first time?
This is my first time, actually, which was surprising. I was surprised this is the first time they'd cover me, but yeah.
Yeah, because I was wondering, I kept thinking, like, I've been covered by other channels. I've never mentioned EFAP before as a title in any of my videos. So it's like, why me? What was why did I stand out? Because your video, my video, and Birdman's video not only dropped the same day, but within like the same 2-hour time frame on
exactly
like last week. So I'm like, all of our videos came out around, not planned at all, by the way. Like I saw his video. I was like, how did we do this all at the same time? Anyway, we all did it at the same time.
I mean,
and yeah, go ahead, Bob.
I was just gonna say, I wonder if it's just a strategy for them, because I know I was covering people like Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker when I first started covering this stuff, because they're the big dogs. They're the ones that everybody listens to. That's what I was focusing on. And then all of a sudden I got Rags fans commenting on me. I was like, okay, I don't even really know who Rags is. And I found out he started covering my stuff. And it's like,
well, you remember, I think probably all of us, I'm going to see if it's the same thing with you, Noah, and Sherrod as well. But like Rags subscribed to my channel very early on.
He's a subscriber to my channel too.
And
really?
So you can tell that he is subscribed to you. And I think that's all on purpose, I believe.
Interesting. I'll have to check to see if Rags is subscribed to me or not, because I didn't realize that. Would be even funnier because he said he wanted to body me on that stream, so that'd be even funnier if he subscribed me while saying that.
He doesn't like your avatar. He's like, he doesn't like the cool otter and the suit.
No, he doesn't like that there's a cooler furry than them that
it's the jealousy. I see what it is.
Apparently, yeah.
So it makes total sense now.
But this is nothing new for EFAP in terms of covering Drinker or covering for Drinker. I mean, they do really love to go to bat for that guy, whereas they don't do it for anyone else. And nobody else in that sphere gets the amount of ball licking that Drinker does from them.
That is... oh, God. That is funny to me because, like, I've covered Drinker before, so I was very surprised to see that this was the first time they chose to cover me. It was such a weird thing. But I've never used, like, his... Like, I've used his image on thumbnails plenty, so I was like, I was kind of surprised this is the first time they actually covered me.
And it's a weird one as well, because this one he's so blatantly incorrect in as well. This is one of his laziest reviews, and one of his worst in terms of accuracy. I mean,
it's his biggest uphill battle defending this one. I think it's pretty bad.
I mean, the fact that he didn't even go to the cinema to see the film. I mean,
I almost punched my TV. What, bro?
What?
Yeah.
No. He almost went back home and hit his TV.
Oh yeah. Almost drove home and punched my TV and went back.
It's kind of weird. What is their motive for doing that? Do you think is like, do they see Drinker as kind of I don't know, their daddy or I don't know, like it's weird that they feel so compelled to do that. Does Drinker ask them to so he doesn't have to, I don't know.
I don't know. Curious. It's weird because he is the biggest one, so it does kind of feel like a lot of like the smaller grifter channels, even ones like Nerdrotic, just kind of circle around him because it's Drinker, Nerdrotic, and then most of the other channels just kind of like circulate around them, like Geeks and Gamers. Even Melanie Mac for a while was trying to do that, which didn't work out, obviously.
Well, I mean, I don't know how long you've paid attention to him, but like 5 years or so ago, this is a much larger network of content creators, Fandom Menace or whatever. And it's really dwindled quite a bit.
Yeah, because people are seeing through their grift now. It's not as easy for them.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, because we out here doing what we do. I think that's important.
Exactly. Yeah, like I just covered Sloan the other day, which was one I was surprised a lot of people hadn't covered before. Because the weird thing about Sloan is that technically he's a left-leaning grifter. He does have like left-leaning beliefs, he said before, but
that's interesting.
he spouts off a lot of right-wing conspiracy theories about people like Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks. It's so weird.
It sounds a bit like Shuan Head, to be honest.
Kind of. It's such a strange thing with him because I was the reason I found out about him is because I found his Steven Spielberg video, and I watched it and I was like, what is this guy talking about? This is just completely insane. Because
Eric, do you want to respond to I'm going to get the super chat in a second, but this is an interesting thing to say.
I got to go watch that Sloan video. By the way, I've had that queued up for a minute.
Yeah. Surprisingly,
he's interesting.
That heel versus babyface and Ryan Cannell kind of have a carved out little space for themselves.
But Geeks and Gamers literally stopped uploading to.
They're not. I would say that Geeks and Gamers is not
of a channel that has failed. He used to be one of the pillars of these things. This whole thing, and now
they keep creating new channels. There's like Geeks and Gamers 5 now. It's like, how many channels do they have?
I mean, when I first started, I felt kind of like Jeremy Griggs was almost kind of like the ringleader. But as I was covering it, it really seemed to transition more towards Nerdrotic.
Also, I think that
thank you very much for saying that, Stuart. I appreciate it because Sloan is one of the worst ones I think I've had to cover.
Great video. He wasn't even that person wasn't even on my radar. I was like,
no,
who
he's
is this
not
person?
on my radar.
Because I hadn't heard about him until I got that video recommended to me, like I mentioned in the video. And I like I said, I downloaded it because I'm not giving that stuff my view, but like after seeing it, I kind of caught on to what this guy, is all about. He's all about like spouting a lot of very like QAnon kind of conspiracy theories about different people, like Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg. He's done other ones too. That I'll probably do a follow-up video at some point because there's so much to say about that guy.
So just to make sure I have the right guy. Is this the guy of 1.1 million?
Yeah,
subs?
he's huge.
Jesus
he's actually
Christ.
a big channel, but he's
Holy shit.
spreading. Yeah, but he's
straight
like
up lies.
his platform to
The
spread
guys that
some
we tend
really.
to cover, they mix in some bullshit with some facts. You know what I mean? Like Nerdrotic will kind of operate from a fact, but he'll just spin it with bullshit. And this is just like straight up, lies that seem to be pulled out either out of his ass or Sloan's ass or out of like some random thread somewhere. QAnon posts or something like that. It's like,
I mean, almost everything you covered in your video is actionable. If the celebrities he talks about wanted to, they could sear him into oblivion and win, as far as I can tell, because you can't go around making those statements about people as if they're fact, especially when you're inserting the names of those people into stories that don't contain their names.
Yeah, exactly. And that's precisely what he did with both Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks, because he pulled those like blind items or whatever from that one website, which, like I said in the video, is already controversial because of the guy that runs it. And neither Tom Hanks nor Steven Spielberg were even mentioned in those stories that he was pulling up. So he's just straight up lying.
I'm not going to lie. Looking at his thumbnails, I feel kind of like when I first discovered Nerdrotic's channel. I'm like, who watches this? Who looks at this thumbnail and says, "Oh boy, I want to see what he says"?
I think they're very comparable. Yeah.
I've got this $10 super chat. I'm not sure whose channel that's on, but I mean, this is this happens. I mean, that's just part of the reason that they've been so successful on YouTube is that they develop this attack mentality, this kind of hive mind that will definitely go after any channel that's small enough that they see might have some kind of a valid criticism of them or whatever. Like they will just bombard the channel. It's happened to all of us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I started my channel knowing that it would happen because I started seeing it happening around before I ever made a YouTube channel. I was like, wow, there's some weird shit going on here. And so I was like, I expected it to happen. But I've had several people over the years ask me, what do I do to get them to not, bombard my channel? I'm like, you don't. You just have to not pay attention.
Roll with it.
I don't care. That's good. Actually, I eventually started seeing it as a mark of success. The more they come after me, I'm doing something right,
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. Hopefully don't give up on your channel, though. Hopefully that didn't discourage you. So
yeah.
Did we see there was another super chat here right here? Do we look at this one yet? From DJ LOL. It's a £5. I always love it when people insult us furries since they're almost always unoriginal. That we will like to do with animals so predictable. It's funny.
Yeah. That's why I've gotten a lot, obviously. Yeah. It's just very easy. Like, oh, you're a gay furry, which is funny because I'm actually not gay, but they always assume that. It's very funny.
All right. We had another. Did we have another one here? Oh, yeah. Toy Gains here 199 super chat. I love your icon there. Opinions on July's poor Isom action figure sales. I mean,
Well, look, action figures now.
He does, and I think there's been some belief that the action figure stuff is what's tanking his company. Because action figures are really expensive to make, and they require massive. Like, you can't just buy 100; you have to buy like thousands of them.
Well, yeah, that's how come Marvel and DC just sell the licensing and have other companies do that shit.
Yeah. So that's one of the issues he's having. I actually think that some of the stuff we're seeing him do strategically with his business is because of these buying up all these action figures.
Yeah, and $40 each. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Yep. So
I decided to spoil myself a little bit, and I just clicked on Sloan's channel. Just to kind of scroll through to see what I'm in for with that video. After the end of the show, that's the next thing that I'm doing. And I scrolled down, and some of the stuff that is on this channel, I was looking for like an adjective to describe what I'm seeing. But I think the word is actionable.
It really is. I just feel gross looking at that channel. It's like,
y'all are gonna make me look at it now. I haven't looked at the whole channel, but I'm gonna go look.
There's so many faces.
Something for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! What are these thumbnails? What are these thumbnails?
Do you know what I mean? It's the faces.
It's like collages of people's faces.
Yeah. He also unironically believes in the Illuminati, and he thinks that Jim Carrey was trying to whistleblow people on the Illuminati. It's a whole thing. He's something for sure.
There's straight up stuff in these video titles that is like, you can't accuse these people of committing crimes. You can't just say that.
No, that's pretty crazy.
I mean, it does get trickier when they're public figures, but like there still is a line with that. There
was a case, I can't remember how long ago it was, but there was a vlogger from, I believe, Atlanta, who made some comments about Cardi B. I think that's who it was. And Cardi B took them to court and won. And so there is a standard that can be cited in case law that would show that you have to do your due diligence to make sure what you're saying is true. Because even if I were to pull up an article from, say, Cosmic Book News and read that off, that's their article. So if you came after me, I could say, well, I read the article, I didn't know that it wasn't true. But if someone is just making up, hold on, somebody's at my door. Hold on. Okay. If I just make stuff up and I pretend that I have my own sources, which is what a lot of these people do, that makes you accountable for all of it. So, was it Megan Thee Stallion? Was it? It might have been. Let me look it up here. You guys continue. I'll look it up. I can't remember who it was, but let me double check. Birdman might be right.
That could.
It's also, I mean, up to a certain point. I mean, again, I'm not a legal expert, but I do kind of feel like there's a lot of YouTubers who just say a lot of stuff and they get by because nobody's bothered to do anything about it. But like, there's only so much you can defend by saying like, oh no, I actually said in Minecraft. No, I actually what I really said was I just heard it. I said it might be true.
Like on the Tom Hanks one, he says like it's all alleged, but he's presenting it as objective fact. So it's so stupid.
So here's the lawsuit. It was Cardi B versus Tasha K. Tasha K posted 20 plus videos about Cardi B, making allegations about Cardi B that she had worked as a prostitute, she had used and sold cocaine, she contracted herpes and HIV, among other rumors.
Wow.
All of those claims were false, according to the lawsuit. It was filed in 2019 in Georgia. She brought about defamation, libel, and slander because it was both video and writing. Invasion of privacy for like trying to find details about her health. Intentional inflict of emotional distress. A jury found Tasha K liable for defamation, invasion of privacy, and intentional emotional distress. They awarded Cardi B $1 million in general damages, $250,000 for all the expenses that she had to use to bring to court. And the total judgment with everything, all the fees and stuff, ended up being $3.8 million for Tasha K. Now she appealed it, but the appeal has not been, they've not allowed it. She was ordered to stop making derogatory, disparaging, or defamatory statements about Cardi B and her family, and she had to make an apology video, but she still owes the 3.8 million. So
okay, and then Birdman was actually updating the chat during that time. So Megan Thee Stallion actually has a case currently against Milagro Grams, slaughtering that name, who is essentially a social media blogger who's been, spouting shit about her. So that's a current case that's going
right,
on.
and chances are that case will look at this case to like they'll use this in court, which is why like when you're talking about Sloan, like all it takes is one celebrity to go, this person is doing this to me, and then now we have a case with Megan Thee Stallion, we have Cardi B's case, like this could end you in big trouble. You need to make sure that when you're going after celebrities and saying things at that level, especially about their health and stuff, like that's got to be really careful.
Yeah, Sloan does not cite any of his sources, and he never provides anything at all. He just he literally just makes up stuff, like I was saying in that video, like pulling stuff from blind items and like kind of framing a scenario to look like Steven Spielberg or Tom Hanks was doing something when they really weren't. It's just stupid. I agree with what somebody in chat said. Like he's basically just the new Perez Hilton. That's literally it.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Flockavelli here says, problem is Tasha K is very internet famous, so the defamation work. If you don't have a lot of online traction, I think it's harder to get defamation. But we're talking about a channel with 1 million subscribers. So I think that there would be an argument there that person, and also based on the videos, like the video views are between 100K to 900K views on these videos. I think you could make a strong case that this person does have pretty big social media outreach. Like,
yeah, and it's probably something that like we might not be the best people to read into it in that regard, because like, stuff like this gets algorithm hold, right? So his videos are going to get recommended to other people who watch like drama and celebrity stuff. And unless that's what we're all into, and I just missed something.
Imagine if Brie Larson wanted to go after these guys, Chariot. Like, imagine all the channels.
That would be if Brie Larson went after Jeremy Griggs. That would be up there with the Smash JT Alyssa Mercante lawsuit.
By the way, isn't that coming up soon? Isn't that lawsuit coming up soon? When is that happening?
They had they had a hearing actually. It was somewhat recently. Because he like moved to dismiss or something like that.
Yeah, they said no.
Yeah, of course.
Let me double check.
I mean, she could probably assemble a RICO case against them all.
Yeah, the thing is, like once you're in the position of somebody like Brie Larson, probably the reason celebrities don't do stuff like that more, unless they like have like somebody like some sort of agent or like agency that does it for them. It's just because like you probably see it so much.
Okay, yeah. So on the 4th of this year, of this month, November 4th, they issued a memorandum in order denying the motion to dismiss, and now they're in the pre-trial phase where they're going through discovery, and they have not set an official trial date yet, but it is going to go to court. This, I will say this, when we get to that, when that happens, we need to be covering that, because that's a really big deal in this space for defamation and libel, which is or libel and slander, which is defamation, for us to keep an eye on, because this might set the stage for like private individuals, like not necessarily celebrities who are getting attacked on social media, and where that's going to go. It might change YouTube's policies as well. So,
well, Alyssa Mercante also has, I think, a pretty good case because of like she's lost like real opportunities.
Yes,
and one thing I think she said actually very directly, that like the only reason she decided to do it was because he made that claim about her like being a cam girl or whatever it was.
Oh yeah,
he made a specific claim that I'm not going to repeat here, because A, I don't want to get it wrong, and B, it was lascivious. But he made a specific claim about what she used to do for money, and I won't say anything beyond that. But like that was, he crossed a very specific line, and it was like provably false. So I think that's probably what put her in a good position to do something like that. And by the way, shout out Alyssa Mercante, because genuinely one of the people that, like, as far as games journalism goes, there's a very small like circle of people. I don't know if they know each other, but I just mean like a very small domain of individuals in like games journalism right now who are really sticking up for what's right, as far as I can tell. Because there's a lot of crazy stuff happening right now with like the whole itch.io situation. I know we talked about this. It was maybe the week before last. There's so much like crazy stuff happening in gaming. And I feel like the lesson a lot of people learned from Gamergate was just like, well, you know, it'll pass us by, kind of. If we don't like do anything about it, we won't attract any like Kiwi Farms attention.
Yeah.
So, but you know, if you're the press, that's kind of a problematic attitude.
I mean, I mean, is this kind of all extending from what popped off with like Sweet Baby Inc. whenever we covered?
Oh yeah, I think it has a lot to do with that.
That's the whole Conte wrote that article. So
yeah, the whole DEIA thing and like making sure that, like, the thing is, there's a lot of misconceptions about that stuff, and that's what these guys have grifted on, is the fact that they don't understand that the people that are brought in, these consulting firms, are there to make things feel more authentic. And we had this argument when you talked to, I think it was Frog Tony was on that one stream where we talked about this, is they don't fundamentally understand what that kind of consulting is, or they're purposely misleading people into thinking it's like rewriting a game. And that's not the case. Like they might come in and help with dialogue so that it sounds more authentic. Or say, for example, you're a game maker and you're making a game that has a gay character in it, but you have no point of reference to write that gay character. So you write the character out the way you think a gay character would respond. And you're like, I don't want to make a mistake here because we want to make sure that we're not putting something out that's going to be offensive. So we bring in a firm. That firm looks at the script of that character and the dialogue, and they might say, oh, this line doesn't sound like something that a gay person would actually say.
Well, never mind the fact that like
something else.
And I think that we, you know, with Frog Tony that on that stream, I think we effectively, you know, showed that he was full of shit, because, you know, with his claims, and I think those were generally the claims that people were, you know, kind of saying that like somehow this 16 employee company, Sweet Baby Inc., is like got the largest entertainment industry in history on its fucking knees, you know, making them do what they want to do or whatever. And then I was like, you know, well, why would they do that? How do they have some kind of leverage over the video game industry? And he's like, well, you know, because they'll call them racist on Twitter. And it's like, it's really like,
yeah, like even on my the anti-woke game criticism video I did, an actual video game developer commented under that and said, yeah, Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do that, which I talked about in that video anyway, because like you said, they're a 16-person team. They don't actually change any dialogue for the games.
Right.
Like they'll go in, like, you know, offer consultation on stuff, but they don't touch the dialogue. That's still the studio that does that.
Well, how would that even work? Because like eventually they'd turn their work in, and then the people who paid for it would be like, oh, this isn't what we want. We're not putting it in.
Well, not only that, but just think about this. How are they going to change dialogue in a game but not get writing credits? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you're going to go in and say it's my game and I'm the one that wrote it, and I hire Sweet Baby Inc. to come in and they go in and rewrite the whole thing, and then I'm like, oh, it's my story. I wrote it. Like, that's fraud on so many levels. It doesn't even make sense.
Well, even a step further back from that, as advisors, if you hire a team to be advisors and they say, we want to do all this ludicrous stuff that we know you're going to hate, but we want you to do it, and then the companies are going to say, well, we're not going to hire you again because you've not given us what we wanted. We wanted advice, and you're dictating. They're an advisory company. So the companies that hire them can either take their suggestions, reject their suggestions, or be so annoyed by the suggestions that they don't hire the company anymore. And the company goes out of business. That's what happens.
No, I'm pretty sure what Sweet Baby Inc. does is they come to the video game company and says, listen, you guys are going to do what we say, otherwise we're firing all of you. They kick everybody's ass, and they're
walk
just
in and say,
they're just
this is a pretty nice game developers. It would be a shame if anything happened to it.
Yes.
This is you just to kind of clarify or correct the record here. They don't know. They know that we know what they're saying. They know that most people know what they're actually saying. But they do it this way because it for one, it gets around YouTube's policies most of the time, because there's just enough, you know, a reasonable doubt, big air quote energy there, that they can't, you know, reasonably, and then but also the secondary effect, and they love this part, is that it does piss us off because they know that we can tell what they're saying. You know, that's just
I'd also like really quick before we move on from the Sweet Baby Inc. thing, I'd like to hit the plug real quick because anybody who wants to see something extremely funny should watch that Back and Forth, because that is like a top 5 chariot jujitsu moment, where I put that guy in a verbal headlock.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up.
It was one of my, like, I don't do debates. I mean, I did like left-wing political content for years, and I was always the kind of person who's like, I don't really know if debate's like helpful for education and like the political environment or whatever. But then I had that, and I was like, oh, I should try. That was actually a lot of fun.
Debates can be fun. Sometimes they're boring, but
You can find like lots of clips like this were just, you know, a couple of minutes long, most of them, where some chud is being, you know, either exposing himself for being dishonest or stupid or wrong or whatever, or something like this example. This is on the SHILL Clips channel, which is linked below.
If I hire Eric to paint my house, right? Hey, Eric, I need you to paint my house blue. I want you to paint it blue. And so that's the parameters, paint it. And he's out there painting it, listening to music. I go, I didn't hire you to listen to music. You go, well, you can't control what music I listen to. As long as the house gets painted, I've fulfilled the parameters of my job. So the company goes, hey, I need you to make a new action-adventure game set in the 1980s Miami. And we give it to them. That should be it. That should be the end of where they, you know, they get off and on, right?
But Tony, if Sweet Baby Inc. is being contracted to write, as they often are per some of the coverage that I've seen of this, if they're being contracted to write supplemental material for the game, then isn't that like the painting your house example that you brought up earlier, where they're being contracted and Sweet Baby Inc. is now allowed to write things for the game?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they are. And the problem, or I guess the problem, I'm putting quotation marks, maybe you can't hear them, but the problem is that people are saying that Sweet Baby Inc. is putting in woke stuff. I don't agree with
but
all
you
that.
should respect their vision by your earlier logic.
I do. I don't have a problem with their vision.
But I mean,
again, my whole contention has always been, what are they doing?
And it's like I think it's fair. Can we get you to agree that you can't really justifiably use the word evils or say that they are contributing to some kind of evil plot or anything when you literally don't have a shred of evidence that that's actually happening? Can you acknowledge that?
Did I say evil plot?
In your video, you did say evils. The evils that they're doing, yeah.
To recap, Sweet Baby Inc. recently became the target of a group which claimed the company was forcing studios it worked with to increase diversity within its games and accused of it of pushing a, quote, woke agenda into the industry. Following a report into the claims by Kotaku, a number of game developers have spoken up to clear up misconceptions about what companies like Sweet Baby Inc. actually do. I'm going to stop you right fucking there, okay? Eurogamer, let me stop you right fucking there, okay? If a company is being accused of nefariously injecting personal politics into their games, if they're being accused of all these evils, probably. I don't know, I say a lot of things.
Shout out to that guy. Hope he's doing well.
And pretty much from there, he kind of everything was downhill for him. I like to give us credit for that, but nonetheless, like, I mean, and then the argument he's making in his video itself too is fucking insane. It's like, if someone accuses this company of doing something and their response was we don't do that, that's not what we do, here's what we actually do, and then his response to that is, okay, now I know you're lying because you denied it. It's fucking ridiculous. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the whole woke agenda stuff in video games is such a lazy talking point. And it's actually not doing much anymore. Kabrutus has kind of disappeared into obscurity. Nobody really cares about him anymore. And the whole, like, what is it, DEI detector stuff or whatever bullshit they made.
Yeah, like Grums has definitely gone downhill a lot, thankfully. Yeah, for sure.
I made a video the other day on Grums. I can't remember what it was that I was talking about. But it's like people just aren't engaged with Grums anymore. So it's almost like there's no point in even... like debunking him because his reach is manufactured now. It's all fake.
I'll just see a screenshot of somewhat of his tweets here and there that's like obviously him trying to get in on some topic as like that's trending or whatever, and it's like, oh, that's sad, man.
I actually think his grift of a game is kind of like exiled him from a lot of people because he's been taking money crowdfunding this game that's just never going to happen, and a lot of channels don't want to fuck with that
for a while now, man. You know, why not?
Yeah, well, I think the difference is that it's his game has been, what is it, like 2017? It's been a while. Like, it's been a minute. He's raised like close to $700,000-$800,000 on it. It's like, not only is it probably never coming out, but the beta version that he has for years was like just garbage. It was a garbage, like, wasn't even an asset flip. It wasn't like an asset flip, which, by the way, you can make asset flip games and put them out on Steam in a short amount of time. His game is just like poorly done at every stage. The artwork, the design, the combat, all of it's bad. And so you have that going on. And then apparently he tried to inject it with AI to make the process go faster. And that made it even worse. So yeah, he's cooked. This whole shit is cooked.
The production schedule for his game, you have to admit though, it is pretty strenuous. Like point A is obviously like pitch this kind of like straightforward game project, and point C is obviously release it. But the B in between the A and the C is tweet about black people 5 million times.
Right.
So actually, that's a pretty. He's working really hard.
He is, 100%.
No, I'd be curious if you how aware you are of like other incidents with like Critical Drinker in the past. For example, the Japanese and Korean films incident. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, that was pretty funny as well. Absolutely. Like he was the first one I covered, I think, for I guess I call it hunting grizzly bears now. That was the first one I covered, like him. Yeah.
I think that might have been what actually like put me onto your channel. I think I remember that.
Yeah, it was him, Nerdrotic, and I think Endymion actually were the first 3 I covered, funny enough. I forgot about that.
Endymion took a while to hit my radar, but he's a pretty solidly.
He's a really dumb person. He's so dumb. I'm sorry. Yeah. He's a dumb person.
He's very dumb.
Like when he finally did, like it was such an egregious fucking thing that I literally started a new series. I haven't done another episode in it yet, called "Delete Your Channel."
Well, it's so bad. He lies.
Yeah,
and Dimmon's crazy because he the Critical Drinker, like he describes films inaccurately, which is it is lying. He's misinforming people.
Sure,
but Endymion like invents claims about things that aren't even out yet, and he says, "Oh, we have a source or whatever." And then a game will come out. I'm sorry, this is just me as a Dragon Age fan who's been a Dragon Age fan like since I got into video games, still being very sore about the Veilguard situation because he really lied on that game real hard. And I don't care if he doesn't like it, but it's one of those things where it's like, dude, if you're spreading like homophobic propaganda about something, I just don't understand that also that you can be that wrong. Because like I'm trying to remember some of the stuff that he said. At one point he said that the game was supposed to have like no love interests for straight male protagonists. There are 7 romanceable companions, as I recall, in Veilguard, and they are all romanceable by players of any gender.
But we
and
all
the
know
funny thing is,
Endymion picked.
The lie didn't even make sense because he was also saying that, like, they were showing the character creator stuff and saying, like, oh, look, your character can have any pronouns and have any sex characteristics. And it's like, well, then how would the developers regulate? Given that your character can identify any way, regardless of their set, how would they regulate?
But Cherry, that hits to the heart of all of it. Like when you complain about an MMO or an RPG where it's completely done by the player, that's such a lazy argument because it's not even like these are games that aren't even forcing you into situations. Like you choose to go into these situations, and so it's like it's totally disingenuous with these guys. Totally disingenuous.
I think the first thing I covered from Endymion was the one where he was one of the first people that was complaining about April O'Neil's design in Team and Team Mutant Mayhem. Yeah. It was really dumb. And he was like, first of all, April is a minor in that movie. So it's just very gross that he's like, like sexualizing her basically, or saying she should be this sexual preference for him.
Yeah, him and the Quartering are both known for that. Like going out like, I can't. I'm not attracted to this minor cartoon character.
Yeah. That was pretty dumb. And I think he also he for some reason was talking about Snake Eyes and saying and talking about how he didn't like that Snake Eyes was Asian in the new movie and he's always white. It's like, dude, nobody knows Snake Eyes is white. Most people that don't read it too much into that don't even know he's white. Why does that matter?
I mean, the big thing that I think me and Dane
the thing that stood up to me with him was fucking egregious, man, where he was talking about Alan Richardson on the show Reacher, and he was using him as an example of like a straight Christian conservative man who is everything, the antithesis of what the woke mind virus, blah blah blah. And then I can just show you because it's pretty epic, the rant that Alan Richardson has about this. But
Reacher, of course, is the antithesis of what Hollywood and streaming services largely want to push these days. Mostly because it stars a strong male character who is also straight, and also the actor behind Reacher, whose name is Alan Ritchson, is an openly devoted Christian man. That last part is very important, by the way, because largely in this day and age, Christianity as a religion is dogpiled on and attacked constantly. Things like the woke mind virus absolutely do go out of their way to attack religion.
That's interesting that he says woke mind virus.
The word woke. I hate the word woke. I think it is absolutely egregious abuse of the gift of language. I think we should be vilifying the use of this word. When we use language, we have an obligation and a responsibility to be so specific that people cannot mince our words, that people cannot misunderstand what we're getting at. But when we use a word like woke, it gives all the latitude to the hearer to fill in the blanks about what I'm actually saying. What is a woke? Is it a noun? When Ron DeSantis was recently reelected, he said Florida is where woke goes to die. Is woke a noun? Is woke a living, breathing thing? How can it go there to die? Whatever could you mean, Ron DeSantis? What could you actually be saying in your veiled contempt? Well, leave it to the hearer to fill in the blank. The word woke has come to be a substitute for whatever we hate the most, whatever we despise the most, whatever we vilify, whatever we want to rally around, whatever our monster is, that is the woke. How can woke go to die? Well, we don't want to say it because it's gross to say. I would like gay people to go die in Florida. We will wipe them out. Or transgendered people will get wiped out in Florida. Blacks, we're going to wipe them out in Florida. See, we can't say that, so we substitute it with an abusive word like woke that allows you to do the heavy lifting. What a cowardly thing to do, DeSantis, and anybody else who tosses that word around flippantly.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he was cooking. Let my man cook.
Well, I mean, it's wild. So obviously, Ademian had clips from his channel. He could have clicked on that video.
He muted. We're all muted clips. Though. None of them said anything.
He's literally talks about like Elon Musk in a positive way or whatever. At the same time, he's like showing because we found the clip the video was from where he's shitting on Elon Musk. And like it's just
Alan Richardson is a very devout Christian, but he is not conservative.
No, the thing is he's actually what based on what I understand of Christianity is what a Christian should be.
Yeah,
he represents. He calls out the Trump and all this MAGA crap. He's pretty base dude. So.
This puts me in mind of a very, very old H Bomber Guy video about
H Bomber Guy. I haven't heard that name in a while.
About the war on Christmas. If you guys have ever seen this, it's a classic YouTube video essay debunk. I think it deals mostly with Paul Joseph Watson. But there's a clip in it of this Catholic priest on Fox News that the Fox News hosts have on to try to hawk the war on Christmas talking point. And because they have to purvey this idea that Christians are under attack. It creates pretense for lashing out at marginalized people. And this Catholic is like giving them nothing. And every time they cut to him, he's just like, I think the real problem with Christmas that's happened is that it's so commodified. It's this sacred thing that has been turned into like a product, And it's like, that is the type of thing. First of all, if you're like big, like capitalist apologists, you'd never say that. Like you can't put that guy on Fox News. I don't believe they invited him back. But it's just very interesting because of how like chintzy and cheap a lot of this is the thing, as I've been thinking about this lately, because I wanted to do a video response to Endymion about the Halo thing, because he kept going on and on about how Halo was a Christian game. That's such an interesting concept, a Christian game.
Weird.
Does he mean a game with Christian symbols? Because that's how he justifies it. And I agree with that part. But what about like the protagonists? The UNSC is a secular organization. The Covenant is a theocratic organization. What does that mean for if you're taking some Christian meaning out of that? What does that really mean? What does it say when the elites and the elites disabuse themselves of their former faith and they unite with the human beings. What does that mean for us?
Because
I
sounds
don't
like
think
something
you can
Andy
really put
Pants
that.
Gaming would say, to be honest. Sounds like something he's trying to make up.
This is the thing, though, is I think Andy Pants Game, they're all kind of Andy Pants Gaming, if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of Andy
Yeah.
Pants all the way down to a certain degree.
It's funny because he's come to my channel before multiple times. Like that. Like I think the first time I encountered him was actually him coming to my anti-woke game criticism is not real criticism video, and he commented under it saying, "You're in this position because you've been gobbling woke dick for so long." It's just. He's just so funny. He's such a funny character. He left like I think 12 different comments on my channel because of
I mean, a comment like that, I'd just be like, okay.
Yeah,
can
he's
you
just
describe
funny.
me the difference between a woke and an anti-woke dick for me? I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
I don't know.
What's a
You
woke
really
dick?
you pinned that guy with that you had a community post
I
where you
did,
pointed
yeah, I
out the
pinned
thing
him for a
about his
while,
video
yeah.
game, a certain type of content that's in his game.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, yeah, his game. Jesus.
I'm glad his daughter's safe now. I'm glad she's out
Yeah.
of there, honestly.
Yeah,
But
I
that war on
remember one of his.
Christmas-
Sorry, you go ahead,
Sorry.
Ryan.
The War on Christmas thing, that goes back years. I remember
Mhm.
original Jon Stewart Daily Show covering Fox's obsession with the War on Christmas. And what we've seen is that that's just mutated now into the war on that they've started on woke. That it's always a war on something that doesn't really exist in the way that they are portraying
Right.
it.
So I pretty much not aware. I do a Sundays live stream every week called the Forced Adversity Podcast or FAPcast. And it is specifically about, well, it began about, we were just covering historical moral panics. Because this was prior to like the 2024 election and everything. I was seeing a trend that had been building for decades, basically, where certain folks would create a moral panic out of some thing that either it doesn't exist or is like maybe it does, but it's like they're blowing away out of proportion, and that seemed to have like primed certain people's brains to just believe anything that kind of scared of them, or is, you know what I mean, and it made a very programmable segment of the population. And so yeah, that's a pretty fascinating thing that I like to study a little bit and talk about on that show. So check it out on Sundays on my channel. But yeah, nowadays we just kind of cover generally current events for the most part, because sadly current events are a culmination of all of that.
Well, I need to. This is like my 10-minute warning because I got to head to work. So I'm not sure if we have any other topics or anything like that.
There apparently something happened in this Saltooth and Crate community or something. That seems.
Are we talking about the cosplayer?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to find context for that. Somebody mentioned
Yeah, I could give you a quick.
Oh, here it is.
It's worth a long thing. Ash is a cosplayer, person of color, POC cosplayer, a black girl. Who cosplayed any character that she wanted, and all she got was a bunch of racism on social media about it. And so, I think I don't know when it happened, but she, I don't know, YouTube cares anymore, but she unalived herself over this.
Oh,
so,
Jesus!
Yeah, and I mean, all you have to do is take a quick look at any of her social media and some of the top comments, and you can see like.
I mean, I've seen it several times.
Tons of racism.
It's just common. I've seen it a lot.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about it in a separate video because I feel like I wanted to give an opinion on it that wasn't connected to anything else, because it's pretty bad. I know a lot of friends of mine that are cosplayers, and in the cosplay community, at least the ones that I'm associated with, nobody gives a fuck about like if you're doing a gender flip character, if you're doing a character that's not the same skin color as you. Nobody cares. This is a terminally online thing. It really is primarily just online idiots who want to do that kind of shit. So
well, I guess to kind of, because I wasn't expecting to be bummed out like that, so because I dropped that on everybody. Here is this. That's a positive thing. Bullseye.
Oh, that's good. I didn't even know that was out.
Oh, so is this for Born Again season 2?
Born Again season 2, yeah.
I'm ready for it.
Give
it to me now.
Awesome. Oh.
Yeah. Can't wait for the chuds to complain about it because it's got Jessica Jones in it. We do have some super chats. I don't know if we've gone over these while I got up, but DJ LOL with a £5 super chat. Do you think Comcast will succeed in buying Warner Brothers? I'm just hoping Paramount doesn't get its hands on it, says David Alien Ellison is such a bigot. I don't know what's going to happen with Warner Brothers, but there's none of the scenarios are good. None of them are good. There's some that are better than others, but it is a net negative to all of the Hollywood entertainment industry. Like jobs, it's going to be negative for that. It's going to be negative for creativity. It's going to be negative for film releases. It's all around negative no matter what happens. But you're right. Paramount would probably be one of the worst. I think Netflix would be also one of the worst.
The only thing I can guarantee you is that Warner Brothers will do whatever gives them the biggest short-term gains, because that's all David Zaslav cares about.
I don't know if you guys saw, but he just got ironclad confirmation. Like, no matter what happens, and I literally mean whatever happens, whether they sell, they don't sell, whether they break it apart, they keep it together, it doesn't matter. He's essentially locked in till 2030. So
I'm not a fan of just studio heads in general, but David Zaslav's like the worst. I just despise him with a fire passion. Fuck
yeah, it's not good at all. And it's kind of crazy because that's like one of the big 5 studios, and they've been around for 100 years now, and they're just
this past year, it's the only one that's been competing with Disney at a real level. Everybody else is so far under Disney. Warner Brothers is the only one, and they were beating Disney through the summer. So
yeah, it's wild.
Historically, they were the only movie studio that made anti-Hitler films before America entered the war as well.
Yeah,
so they've got a long history of fighting fascism, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah,
with there with Paramount.
And this is about the Sloan conversation. Another £5. Thank you for supporting our channels. Honestly, I stopped watching Sloan stuff when it seemed clear that he was just using other people's trauma for his own gain, and that put me off. Well,
that's exactly what that's actually a big part of what he does too. And I do want to do a follow-up video talking about more of his stuff, because there's like the video he did on Jim Carrey, and like a lot of him kind of like using Jim Carrey's depression and stuff and mental health as a way to try to claim that he knows about the Illuminati or whatever Sloan is trying to talk about. And it's like, come on, dude, this is so disgusting. You're talking about someone's mental health and trying to use that as a way to perpetuate this conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you got me watching your video.
Well, in your Spielberg video, when he claims that Ariana Richards was abused.
Right.
I mean,
that
based on nothing.
There's another one he... Yeah, no, there's like no evidence for that. There's another one he did that I'm going to talk about in the follow-up, where he tries to claim that the girl from Poltergeist died because of him. It's just and he doesn't provide any evidence in that one either. He just cites those blind items again.
Yeah,
so stupid.
We got one last super chat here from Columbia Rica, $2 super chat. AC Shadows ended the grift for right-wing grifters. Actually, this is one of them, but Ghost of Yotai is another one that they like banked really hard on, and it ended up doing really well. And now they're upset about that. The idea of this woke mind virus thing or whatever, you can only keep going with it for so long after you claimed victory. It's like, we got Trump elected, woke is dead, but then here we are a year later after him being elected, and almost 8 months after being sworn, 9 months after being sworn in, and they're still complaining about woke. And we said this before. Yeah, go ahead, Dane.
Well, I was gonna say, to your point, you got to imagine being somebody that watches this content, whether it's video games or movies or whatever, and then you believe, okay, our guy won, the woke's going to go away now, and then like you said, a year later almost, and it hasn't. You have to, every time you engage with that content, you're going to have to kind of do some kind of mental gymnastics to try to work your way around, like, why am I still seeing this? Why is it still happening? So, and those, they have their narratives about like, oh, it takes a while. Remember whenever Trump was first elected, and we watched Eric July saying, oh, it's going to be another 5 years before the woke is finally, completely purged from the system kind of thing. Like, they anticipated that they were going to need to, give them a narrative to hang on to.
Wicked Part 2 comes out tomorrow, an objectively woke movie, and it's probably going to do just as well, if not better.
It's got a 98% score on Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't give a fuck about Rotten Tomatoes really, but they like to use it a lot. 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm wondering how they're going to spend
That's the audience score too. That's
and the critic score is like the critic score was like 70 something, I thought. So
yes. Which is lower than the original, but it's still solidly in the red or black. Well, I don't know what you call it for the tomato meter.
What was that? Oh, that.
I'm gonna show it.
Do it one more time. There we go. I was like,
showing off my editing. Showing off.
That was a collaboration. I believe I did the graphic and you did the video.
That's true. You had the Chuds and Bigots actual graphic, and I was like, I could turn that into the actual moving thing they do.
John here says Mag is like the most sourest and salty poor winners. Like, y'all got what you wanted, but why are you still mad? Yeah, no, I mean that we said that, but we actually said this. I was going to say earlier. We said before that they were just going to continue to complain about stuff and make up things because they have to continue to have a business. And that business is perpetuated on
because that's how fascism
hate and outrage. Yeah,
fascism always must have a thing to go against.
Yeah,
I love that they say this now as well. Oh, sorry, Ryan. I was just going to say
they've had so many big losses over the last couple of years. I mean, Barbie for one stands tall above the rest about them saying, "Oh, it's going to be horrible and woke, and it's going to be ridiculous. Nobody's going to see it. It's going to be a disaster." And then it's like the biggest movie of that year, and then the Minecraft movie is like the biggest movie of the last year, and they didn't have anything to say about that apart from Critical Drinker complaining about the black girl being in it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what they didn't really talk about the biggest movies of the year, which would be like Ninja 2, which I don't really know because it's a Chinese movie. But
I saw that; it was actually really great. I really liked that one a lot.
Okay,
I saw it in theaters.
I've heard promising things, but the other big movie would be Lilo and Stitch.
Which they had to ignore because they were in the middle of saying that Disney was failing.
Yep.
I always find it funny. They always try to call me a Disney shill when I actually did a video talking about that movie and why I really didn't like it as a fan of the original.
I really want to do a video where I kind of like look at the amount of their content on each of their channels that is just Disney content, because when you really think about it, they are Disney adults.
Like Clownfish TV, like they're self-confessed Disney adults, and they always talk about going to the parks and stuff. They always take videos of them going to the parks, and it's so stupid.
Like,
it's like
they may be shitting on it and like saying they want it to fail or it's failing or whatever, but they really don't, because if it did, they would have nothing. It would fucking.
I'm pretty sure they're D23 pass members too. Which, if you don't know what D23 is, it's like Disney's exclusive club or whatever, where you pay like $50 or $100 if you're in the upper tier a year to get like a card from Bob Iger and like a signature from Mickey Mouse, and you get to go to their exclusive event. And they only go there so they can, see movies or see advanced screening of movies and then like shit on them or whatever. It's stupid. It's so dumb. It's like you're still giving them money.
I went over something like that when I covered Nerdrotic. I want to say on my last stream, because all he was doing was complaining about how movies are products, and it's like, well, wait, all major studio movies are products to a degree. That's the point. That's like
if they weren't, they would just put them out for free. Here, come see our movie for free. We don't care,
And it's like, okay, if you're actually concerned about corporate movies, then how often do you cover indie movies and little filmmakers trying to get out there? Oh, look at your channel. Fucking never. Oh,
that's another thing I really hate about them, because I did talk about that I think in a different video, but like you can tell they're not actually film fans because they don't cover like independent passionate projects. They don't even cover like classic film at all, like The Godfather or like any like Citizen Kane or anything like that. They don't care.
Bob, look at John's comment. Movies are supposed to make money. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like
I'm blowing your mind here.
Yeah, wow, what a shock.
Whether it's in the realm of comics or movies or whatever, they don't know like anything, or they don't know as much as they let on they do.
No, they don't. It's so dumb.
There's this infamous thing right here from Bob's debate with Eric July.
You've read Amazing Fantasy number 15, right?
Let's talk about. Go back to ISOM. What about it? Are you asking? What specific?
Wait. You've read Amazing Fantasy number 15, right?
What specific action are you asking? Pretending? No. I'm gonna get stuck on this one. You've read Amazing Fantasy number 15, right? Are you what? Let's talk about ISOM. You just asked me a question. Let's quit moving the goalposts. What specifically about the?
There are plenty of people that don't know who Spider-Man is. Dipshit.
Suffering Steve Ditko. How can you not know that Spider-Man first appeared in 1962's classic Amazing Fantasy number 15?
That's a classic. That's one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't understand it.
142 people watched it, so I figured I'd bring out some of the old hits here.
Yeah, I got to jump out of here though, but it's nice seeing everybody. It's nice chatting with you, Noah. Can't wait to do it again soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, make sure to subscribe to Eric Debunks. Eric's Reloaded. Yeah,
come over and check out my channel. I talked about before I go, a fun thing was in my video, I'm talking about the decline, or my most recent video, I talk about the decline of Neurotic and Critical Jinkers views and subscribers over like the last 4 years. And someone comes in and says, well, just because they're on a decline doesn't mean their channels are doing bad. What? It's like,
that's only the definition. It doesn't.
What?
Mean
Isn't that their whole thing? Is like Disney is dying because they're losing views and numbers? Like, isn't that their entire foundation of their argument? Is that stuff is dying because it's declining? And you come over here and go, declining doesn't mean that they're dying. It's like, what are we talking about here? Anyway, it's nice chatting with everybody. Play nice in my channel. Don't do anything crazy. If they're going to stay live, don't do anything crazy. We'll get put in timeout. Anyway, I'm out of here. See everyone later.
See ya. Bye.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Eric is something for sure.
He's been a really just a font of memes. I don't know if I think it's like the combination of just his aggressive self-confidence combined with like how just really he doesn't know anything or understand anything and just how dishonest he is. I think that's the equation that makes him so fucking ripe for memery.
It is pretty funny.
It had just reminded me though that talking about this, has anybody checked it? I can't remember which of Critical Drinkers channels it's on, but he's pivoting now to doing movie set tours, or rather filming location tours. He took a little trip outside of his house to not punch any children. Amazingly.
Is he doing this like in a sincere way, like he's just doing negative grift shit on it?
No, I think from what I can tell, it seemed sincere. He was basically visiting places that were used for filming locations. I think
that's what I tend to think about. I'll study these guys individually and be like, try to figure out at one point did they really have a sincere love for this stuff, and how does it, do they still think about it that way sometimes? Does it kind of like, is it like a longing deep in their mind? They're like, man, I wish I could just enjoy movies again or something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Well, I haven't checked out the view count either, but I feel like it's going to be lower. But who knows with him? But it's they're all trying to pivot away from it. But how do you get away from that when your entire audience is built on?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, because they've been grifting for so long. It's like, how are you going to like pivot to like liking movies now, basically, or just trying to praise them,
just
or
doing
actually
honest reviews?
Yeah.
And I don't think you were here when it came up, Noah, but Eric was going through the reasons the channel might die. And one of the things is a change in content, basically, a shift in content. And that really does kill a channel because it's what you build your audience on. If they're not getting that, a lot of your audience is only there for that. I mean, for smaller channels like me, I don't care because it's a part-time job for me. I do it for me. So I don't really care how many views I get. I just like putting it out there. But if your entire career is dependent on you doing this particular content and then you pivot away, your audience isn't going to come with you.
Can you imagine Gary going back to this?
Okay, because, I really dislike the fake geek thing and the poser nerd thing. That's not what we're about. We're about inclusiveness, and we want new people in. And if new people, spout off and make mistakes, hey, don't we all?
Classic Gary.
Yeah,
there's no way. I mean, his entire personality used to be about inclusiveness and not being a drama channel, and to pivot away from that. And
that's all it is. And like I think someone earlier said, like Sloan, like the thumbnails are pretty much exactly the same because they're both basically perpetuated drama channels, more or less.
Yeah. They found their niche to create. Yeah, they found their niche of what drama to create. And that's what people are there for. People are not there for his sparkling personality and his looks.
Or even just real like discourse or commentary at all. They can't offer that. Or if they did, their audience would leave.
They're definitely not there for his beard maintenance.
No.
Anytime you look at any of their few positive reviews that they do, they are usually a quarter of the views that their normal videos get. People are not there for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'd kill to see like a critical drinker review of like one battle after another. That would really tickle me. But it has to. It's all like crash and burn the Brie Larson story and stuff like that. It has to be.
I'd like to see these guys review Sinners.
Yeah, he finally did, didn't he? Like months after
on his like second
on his
channel,
second channel, yeah.
that nobody else that most of his audience doesn't watch. And even if you look at like his review of K-pop Demon Hunters, which he reviewed way after the fact, funny enough, like long after the movie came out, he did it on his main channel. But even then, it actually doesn't have the same viewership that a lot of his other reviews do, because it's him praising a movie that has that is objectively woke. So yeah.
And I mean that's how they're trying to spin the Brie Larson Mario casting. This is her big comeback. It's like she hasn't been anywhere. She's been doing other acting. She hasn't been doing Marvel movies because they're not making Marvel movies with her in. But she's still making movies, and she's made a lot of theatre. I mean, she did, I think Salome, something like that, on stage for and anyone who knows anything about theatre knows that you do long runs. So I think she's been doing that for like a year.
Yeah, but these guys only review like mainstream, very just mainstream, very hyper commercial movies. They won't talk about any independent film or just even anything that veers slightly off the course of like Star Wars or superhero or Disney stuff.
Yeah, mostly Disney, but yeah, anything that's like mainstream superhero, sci-fi,
That's what I was going to say earlier, actually, because like this year has been a really big year for like horror movies, like kind of low key. Like I haven't seen outside of people who are like dedicated like film reviewers, I haven't really seen too many people talk about that fact. But I think we might look back on this year and realize that a lot of good stuff got made this year. And then also like, you know, the way that things go with horror, where there's like a few things where it's like, okay, this is a bit goofy, but I still will go back and see it. I like it.
I mean, I just saw Weapons, I want to say yesterday. That was a banger.
I saw Till Dawn and Weapons back to back, and I wrote 2 different video scripts for them that I'm putting out next week because they were that much fun.
I mean, some of them did cover Warriors, but Weapons, but it was quite a long time after the fact. It was like a couple of weeks. Normally, it's day of release or within a couple of days of release. But that one was one that they missed, and they keep missing these things because they're not looking at what's good. They're looking at what they think is going to be popular. Basically, if a merchandise website has got a subsection for it, they cover it. And again,
somebody asked if I like Star Wars Theory. I like him so much. I made some videos about him, like this one.
You know,
what do you guys think of the Acolyte poster?
I think it looks like somebody's having their period and just decided to wipe it right by that lightsaber. I feel like there should be like I think it just means there's gonna be a lot of women.
Oh,
they're all gonna be synced up. That's what I think.
He got back in for a split second, Ryan, and booted him right out again.
He came in before I could give the punchline, so that's on him. But I think it's supposed to be just blood, and it's like, hey, this is.
So what this is for anyone not aware, this is some hero sent me clips that they'd clipped from this stream show, whatever that Theory was doing with these guys, and basically it's anytime probably mostly Ryan Kendall would say something off color, Theory would jump out of the stream so that in case anybody clipped it, then he wouldn't be part of whatever was being said, and then he would get back into the stream unless Kendall said something else fucked up. So basically, he wanted to be part of their little group and get the benefits of all the toxicity and hate grift that they're doing. But he didn't want to actually be seen as being part of the group because that would ruin his image and that would potentially not allow him to pull his viewers over to the Chud viewers or Chud audience.
Well, I know he really.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I know he really took a beating when the first series of Andor came out, and he complained about it having bricks and screws in it as if it was new to Star Wars. For such a Star Wars fan, I would have thought he would have noticed them in it before. But
In an age of light, a darkness rises.
Yeah. They don't just mean the skin tone of the main character.
Wait, is Reaver in this?
Because we get introduced that they're really the best. Respect your pronouns, I must. That's the kind of fucking Yoda we're gonna get in this one.
We're in the clear.
I think we
We're
got
good.
it.
I like
No
it.
one can clip that now. All right, I wasn't in the frame.
That is some cowardly fucking just
He wants
What a
all the
major
benefits.
pussy. Holy crap.
Yeah, he wants all the benefits of being with these grifting, bigoted piece of crap. He just doesn't want to get clipped with them. He doesn't.
It's kind of crazy how stupid he is too, if you think about it, because like that's not how linear time works.
Right.
Like if you leave after it's been said, obviously you'll
Yeah.
still be in the clip because you were there when it was said. Stupid.
Well,
Like-
and then coming back and just explaining clearly why he keeps leaving. Like, I don't want to be in the frame when he says something fucked up. It's like, what are you doing, man? Nobody can clip this, right? No, they can literally clip it. They're gonna clip this.
Doesn't that like I think that at some point that crew was kind of like ripping on him for that too, right? If I remember correctly, like that whole like Shillcast or whatever. Like I feel like I remember them kind of like just ripping on him for like you know, kind of like wanted to be in their group, but also kind of not wanting to. I'd have to look that up
I don't
again,
know.
but I
I'd
saw
love to
something
see
about that.
I mean, yeah, it seemed pretty obvious that like over time he started hanging out with them more and more. And you know, you can go look at his like I joined his Discord for a little while and was pretty surprised to see a lot of people were not happy that he made these associations and was hanging out with them.
Well, I mean, if you look at his old content, he literally just talks about like Star Wars theories and expanded universe stuff. It's literally just a Star Wars fan channel. He decided to turn it this way, you know, and he's allowed. He's allowed. I know all about changing directions of your channel and how rough it can be, but I would never turn my channel that way. Never turn.
I believe he's also a big Andrew Tate fan, if I remember correctly, as well. So he like that's also a big part of it.
Yeah, him and who are those? The two guys who had that like alpha male podcast. The really big one.
Oh, the Fresh and Fit?
Yeah, Fresh and Fit. Yeah, those guys. Yeah, I think he watches them as well. He said it on because I took a detour once and I watched some of Star Wars theories. Like he had like either it was like a second channel or like some lives that he hadn't privated yet, and I sat through them and watched them, and it was all him like. He was doing like a Fresh and Fit react, and he was talking about like what he thought they got right or wrong about like women, and he came out of it like seeming very moderate by comparison. But it was a really weird thing for I remember thinking this. I was like, that's a weird ass fucking thing for him to do, because bro just talks about Star Wars a bunch, you know, like that's to out of left field be like, here's my opinions about dating women, by the way.
Right.
Oh, crazy.
That's where the Andrew Tate influence comes in for sure.
For sure.
And like, I mean, he speaks to a lot of young guys if you really think about it, because that's it's a large part of the audience for Star Wars. So like he's using that, like he's kind of spreading those ideas to his audience because it's a very easy thing to pass off there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the thing. I mean, we obviously we make fun of these guys and we have a lot of fun here because they're so sort of inherently ridiculous.
Yep.
But I think, you know, kind of going back to some of the heavier stuff that's come up this stream and to your point, Noah, I think like there is something really sinister about a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, actually
is very easy to forget in the moment, right? Because it's so stupid.
Thank you
Yeah,
for saying that,
that's
'cause I
a
have
big
video
reason
clip
why I
wanted to-
started. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to say I have a clip I'm going to pull up though. That speaks to this exactly. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
All good. Yeah, I was just gonna say that's a big reason why I started going after Sloan when I realized who he was, because like he's also spreading a lot of harmful ideas as well. Just kind of, I mean, sort of on a different side of the spectrum in some way.
So I saw this yesterday, just randomly on my feed, and I was like, it struck me that this guy is just a more open, honest version of what these content creators are doing.
One of those stories that was jaw-dropping even for me when I stumbled across it. And as I heard from the group of parents who joined us, most families have no idea that children are being targeted by adults who want to make them hate. For most parents, it's a hate that seems worlds away.
Oh my God, bro. You are a Jewish science experiment, bro.
But this hate is targeting your children.
Look at this Aryan Chad. Gonna hunt you down.
Targeting them
Yeah, boy! Yeah! Let's go!
inside their own bedrooms.
These young man! Woo! White power!
And so, you know, it's impossible to know, but I'm pretty confident there's quite a few kids of an age that shouldn't be watching these channels, you know, like Friday Night Tights kind of content, but they're watching it. And they don't age restrict their videos either, their streams or anything, which I find, you know, to be pretty fucking disgusting. Especially whenever they have, like, you know, Gavin McInnes taking his dick out on stream and whatnot.
Like a lot of the audience actually is young males for a lot of those channels. So
and autistic on the spectrum too. This is another angle that really pisses me off because there's a lot of people that have trouble socially, and this is the kind of shit that preys on people like that.
Yeah, well, it's like this is like what people mean when they talk about like the alt-right pipeline. It's because like you can watch EFAP and they'll have like Sitch and Adam on, and then you watch Sitch and Adam and they'll have Aiden Paladin on, who, by the way, as I recall, was once upon a time canceled for Holocaust revisionism. So that's already bad enough. And then you watch Aiden Paladin, and then I think who was it that she was at one point palling around with? I'll have to ask my ex-girlfriend really hates Aiden Paladin. I'll have to remember to ask Winter about this. But I think it was like Stefan Molyneux or somebody really crazy like that. So it's just so few degrees of removed that these people like associate with each other. And I remember back in the day, you know, people would be like, oh, you're just accusing them of like guilt by association. And it's like, well, if you fucking promote the ideology of the Fuhrer, that's not like guilt by association. That's it's like you're guilty of promotion, you know, like you're giving people this thing and going, hey guys, what do you think about this? Isn't this kind of neat? Isn't this kind of interesting? Wow. Hey, you may not agree with everything he says, but you know, it's just not good.
No, exactly. And the part about I didn't think about that actually. The part you brought up about people being on the spectrum and like kind of taking in this ideology without really realizing just how harmful it is. That's another thing.
Or even realize that they're getting an ideology fed to them at all. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. It's also funny because like EFAP kept, or like when all of EFAP's cronies or whatever came into my video, they were all like, they were saying this is the most autistic thing ever. It was just like, okay, well, yeah.
So here's this that Pillar of Garbage compiled, and I kind of made the extended version of it, put the two images together. But like, yeah, this stuff is all very intentionally interconnected, and you know, it's not any kind of official conspiracy or anything. But I mean, they know how to. They've gamed the algorithm. That's essentially what they've done. They know how to do it. They know they need to cross promote, cross collaborate, and you know, only now are we starting to see where like these alliances have been tenuous the entire time, and now you're starting to fracture. But like, yeah, I mean, you got Friday Night Tights has several people on it regularly who are you know, directly work for some specifically right-wing media organization. Like Eric July works for Blaze Media, Quarterback Black Garrett or whatever works for Blaze Media, or did. I'm not sure if he still does. Chrissy Mayer works for Compound Media.
She did. Oh, I thought she worked for Blaze. Maybe she.
No, she works for Compound, which is the what's his name, the Anthony Cumia, formerly Opie and Anthony guy, who's a big fucking virulent racist piece of shit. She works for his thing. That's what also Gavin McInnes works for that. You know, so it's like very clearly all interconnected, and it seems like they just have, you know, knowingly puts one of their people in on like this Friday weekly show that is the most popular show watching all these people, all these chuds, and it's like.
And I find this factoid so interesting. So Eric July, you know, we have the old clip of him where he used to talk about Miles Morales was kind of the exception. He was an all right character. Yeah. You know, he essentially made defense for him. But then he turned hard against him. And he also got employment at Blaze Media. And who was one of the first people to criticize Miles Morales back when he came out? One of the loudest voices to criticize him. Glenn goddamn Beck. Yep. I don't think that's a coincidence.
No. I don't think so either. I mean, you know, it's the kind of thing that's like there's no way to prove it, obviously, but you know, it's like you know,
Yeah, you can't prove it, but it is right there.
Timeline lines up pretty well, and the fact that he so clearly did have one opinion that is then the opposite opinion, just seemingly, unprovoked and unexplained. Yeah,
it's insidious.
Derek's spin fire again. Did we have topics go over?
What's that?
I was saying, do we have any other topics go over?
Well, there is this one little thing of I find interesting, little clip here. Speaking of the neo-Nazi and then people that generally line up with that type of ideology, going back to one of the OGs, some new information has come out about him.
Found on material from a sofa in Hitler's bunker have been DNA tested, and the results suggest he may have had a rare genetic condition. According to a documentary set to air in the UK, Hitler's DNA has a genetic marker associated with Kallmann syndrome, which can delay puberty, lead to low testosterone levels, and a micropenis. So,
oof.
Oh my God. Oof. So him and Donald Trump. Him and...
just seems like something to know about.
Did you just get this recommended to you in YouTube? Sure.
Yes.
What are you watching in YouTube Shorts that put this in your?
Stuff about Nazis. I'm watching.
Yeah, I guess.
What you're not in the rabbit hole from Nazi peanut size?
Every week, my YouTube Shorts algorithm is like live stream gaming stuff, like VTuber stuff, and whatever movie is getting recommended to everybody that week is what I experience in the YouTube Shorts algorithm. Also, a lot of ads. Do they increase the ad density of YouTube Shorts? Have you guys noticed that?
I think they're trying to push YouTube Shorts, and that might be one of them.
My partner pays for the fucking premium, so I don't see ads.
Oh, la-di-da, pinky up.
I'm paying for it.
Can't just
my
use
wife buys
adblocker
me
like the rest
Lego
of us.
sets.
But yeah, I didn't really have anything else to cover. Really? Anybody?
This is a crazy way to end this.
Yeah, I was about ready to say. Well, guys, let's make.
You guys want to promote anything? Noah, Chariot, anybody? Ryan?
Not anything yet. I'm still working on the follow-up video to Slum, so I guess just that.
Yeah,
Check out part 1 if you haven't already.
Yeah, I got to go watch that. And I actually finally have, as of today, finished the edit on the Ben Shapiro Superman video where I talk about Superman and Nietzsche and history and the Nazis and Ben Shapiro and all the stuff he believes. And I go into several of his multiple videos about Superman and talk about that at length. It's a long kind of...
Isn't he very wrong about Superman anytime he talks about him kind of thing?
He's very wrong about every movie he talks
He's very
about.
wrong about him, but the video is I worked really hard on the script for this video. It's it spares no it's a long ass video, but every line is specifically written just to land in a certain way. So I worked really hard on this one. It's structurally it's a good argument. It's one of those things where it's I think I argued my point so well I actually kind of would misrepresent it if I summarized it and condensed it. Okay. So I'm gonna just let that one be out there. And then I got a Lady Ballers review in the Big 25 coming up on Friday. I wanted to do something for Transgender Awareness Week, and I was like, you know what? Y'all are gonna be aware.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of movie reviews soon.
Did somebody... I'm sorry, did somebody make an argument in favor of deplatforming? Because I used to think deplatforming was a good idea, but I think evidence shows it's not really or it's not effective. Look at fucking Nick Fuentes, for fuck's sake.
I think it depends. He was kind of falling off, and then he got a bunch of engagement, so it might be case by case.
Sure,
but yeah.
Anyway.
I don't agree with deplatforming, but I do think that YouTube needs to actually enforce its policies or get rid of them.
That's it. That's what it needs to happen.
And I don't think that's deplatforming. If you break the rules, you get kicked out. It's the way it's always been. And
terms of service, I guess, would be the more applicable term.
Yep. Terms of service. Just fucking adhere to it. It'd be pretty cool.
I'll be live on Saturday. I'm going to edit a stream clip on Friday and probably get that out sometime during the weekend. I have Fantastic Four First Steps versus Fantastic Four Rise of Silver Surfer recorded. I need to get that edited as well. Hopefully that'll be out in a week or two. But yeah, I got stuff coming out. Podcast next Tuesday. We'll be covering Gen V. We'll be covering other stuff I'm forgetting about. Oh, Sisu 2.
Awesome.
Yeah, I should be back to normal this Saturday, hopefully. I've had to take a forced break due to various illnesses, but yeah, I should be back to my regular content this Saturday. So people check that out if you're interested in 70s TV cop shows or detective shows.
Who isn't?
Everyone should be. But they are
there's
pretty
some
woke,
cool stuff.
so.
I always love watching an old Columbo, so it's like my favorite. Dane, you got anything going on?
Just the normal, probably Friday live EF thing that I do, which I think for the foreseeable future anyway is going to be, just continuing to watch the fracturing and the fallout of this of MAGA, and follow up on whatever's going on with these Epstein files.
I know there will be a new Dane stream every time there's an Epstein files drop. That was the first thing I did when I saw that headline. I was like, Dane's got to be live right now, and I checked, and you were there with Bob of the Old Ways. I was cracking myself up.
I mean, I've been waiting for some movement on this issue. I think we all have generally.
Yes.
True.
Yeah. It's definitely entertaining to see the fracturing happen, not just because of the Epstein thing. That's like the gut punch of MAGA, but like before that was in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder. Just the factioning that happened based on that. And Candace Owens, like, I'm actually legitimately kind of impressed by her. I mean, like, she's terrible. She's she's doing like immoral, evil shit with like the content, but she's grifting at such a high level right now. It's pretty fucking impressive, to be honest. The narratives that she's spinning and stuff like that, while also like shielding herself from any kind of, you can't just point at her and say she's saying this and this, because she's just you just have to see it. It's pretty impressive. Anyway. But no, I love seeing the people kind of get, have trouble, because they've created a lot of trouble for a lot of people, and it's about damn time. They have some troubles too.
So Actual Fandom, Chariot, Nothing But Media, Utterly Noah. Make sure to like and subscribe to all of them. Visit Organized Chaos if you have some time too. I try to do okay.
Hell yeah.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yep. And on that note, we're going to get the F out of here. Please like and subscribe if you're not, whichever channel you're watching on, and then check out the other ones. They're also linked in the description. We do this every Wednesday, Shillcast. Various people pop on and off, and thanks, Noah, for being on short notice.
Yes.
Man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, awesome to finally talk to you.
Yep.
Absolutely. I'll definitely try to be on the next one too if I can. I
Ooh,
enjoyed this.
that'd be awesome.
Open door policy, man. I'm looking forward to like taking a deep dive into your channel. I haven't really seen a lot of your videos, so
awesome.
They're good. I've been a low key Otterly Noah fan for a while. I've been hanging out and watching them. So
I'll be honest, I've only
very
started
much.
watching them a couple weeks ago, but like they are bangers. Like everyone I watch
Really
is
good.
a banger. So everyone.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So on that note, you guys have a lovely remainder of your week, and take care of yourselves, one another, and whatnot. Peace.
I have never seen such a immature, whiny, little bitchy fan base in my life. It's ridiculous how pathetic these people are. Do I constantly whine and bitch and complain about it? No! But if I don't like it, I complain about it for like a few days, and then I just move on with my fucking life.
Brie Larson. Brie Larson. Brie Larson.
I don't understand this need to continue to bitch and whine and moan.
Brie Larson. 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 With Brie Larson's Brie Larson. 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 Brie Larson.